Don't tell me what to do, Brandon. I already hit the button.
It needs to start with Brand just saying,
I
hit
order
the
thee
button.
to
I
push
missed it.
the buttoneth.
It's been pushed. We are recording.
Good, push the fucking button. We're live.
Yeah, welcome to the
Fuck
Text
it.
Pop podcast. I've returned from the horrid hells of Austin, Texas.
You live in Georgia. How much more hellish can Texas be?
A lot worse. It's never cold. Ever.
Ebola's
That
down
doesn't
there
sound
too.
like a bad thing.
You live in Georgia.
Dude, Georgia, you may not know this, but Georgia gets really fucking cold. It's just, we don't have fall or spring. We have summer and winter. It's still hot right now, but in about a month it's going to be really cold.
Like, isn't summer just like the fucking antithesis of winter? Like, it's...
It'll literally just go from being like 85, 90 degrees to about like 60 in a day.
So, like, would you have, like, a snowstorm and a thunderstorm in, like,
Oh
the same
my
week?
god, 60 is
Probably.
not cold. You
Except it doesn't
Jesus
snow here.
motherfucker.
60 is not cold.
60 isn't even close to cold.
It's
No,
cold
60
down here, Brandon.
60's chilly, but it's not cold. 30,
Oh,
depending on what...
brr. I need to wear my hoodie.
30, depending on what you're doing, can be cold, yeah. And then negative 20, that's cold.
See, the difference is, though, you guys bitch that it's not cold enough, and yet if you come down here, you'd be like, it's so hot! And I'm like, it's fucking 90, it's whatever.
Yeah,
90 happens here in Ohio.
that's
Uh,
actually...
90 happens here in Delaware.
Well, then go
That
to
was my-
Texas, where it's 110.
That was my thing in New York. I was like, man, it's negative 20. It's kind of chilly. I gotta probably defrost my car. 40,
You
it's
have-
t-shirt.
No
40
joke,
was
like,
t-shirt.
when it's like 20s and 30s around here, I'll still wear my heavy coat, but it'll be like wide open, completely unzipped.
We would be playing
Brandon likes
hockey.
it
Not around here, you won't.
We would be playing hockey outside for gym class, and we would be running around, and it'd get so hot, we'd be like, gotta take my fucking jacket off. It's like negative 10. We're like sweating. We're like, I gotta take my jacket off, dude. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, not in Ohio. Ohio, you freeze your dick off no matter what. It's just
It's just the natural
super
state.
fucking cold.
Whether you have a dick or not, you're definitely freezing.
I mean, you
off.
live in Ohio, though.
Yes. I'm aware of this. Where we have a lake right above us that fucks us every winter.
That sounds vulgar.
It gets pretty bad.
That sounds wet.
No,
You're
It's a
wet.
lake.
That's not what I was talking about.
Don't we do intros on this?
Do we?
It's
I
been-
wasn't.
early.
I've been gone for like 2 weeks, so I don't remember anything anymore.
Well, you were here a couple weeks ago,
You
but
were here 2 weeks ago, you little shit.
I wasn't here for the intro.
it was just last week you weren't.
Yeah, but I wasn't here for the intros or not intros 2 weeks ago.
No, you weren't.
I got in like.
Oh
an hour
my
and a half
god,
late.
the intro.
Dude, you were making pizzas.
Was I working that night?
Yes, that's
Oh,
why you were
you
late.
were.
Well, I'm so sorry. I have a fucking job, Brandon. Not all of us can be rich billionaire philanthropists like you.
I got home from work 2 hours ago.
Philanthropist.
Close enough. I'm fighting a character in Smash.
So this is a podcast, correct?
You know, you say that every week like it is, but it's really not. Anyway,
We're not casting pods, so.
on this cast, starting from most asinine to least, I think we'll start with Brandon,
Fuck you.
as you can tell.
That's pretty
You are
fitting.
not Sunder ready for this.
God damn it.
Brandon, I'm gonna hurt you.
Asher's gonna have an aneurysm by the end of this podcast, isn't he?
He's gonna have a funny aneurysm moment.
Just swear to fucking God, Brandon. You don't understand culture. And I don't know. I was gonna keep going, but I don't want anybody else to think that they're an asshole. It's just Brandon. So apart from that, we have Chris. Tell me about
Getting
Ohio.
road rage from a game, basically.
Oh, that's always lovely. We got Garrett.
Whiskey and Coke.
I have such a headache right now. And we have special guest Nick. I don't know his last name. I just call him Nick.
Hello.
Well, we never do our last. Well, we don't
We did,
always
like,
do our last.
Never
thing,
use
so-
last names unless I'm angry at you, Samuel Callahan.
I think we did it like the first week because I was adamant about doing
Yeah.
that. And I was like, fucking whatever.
Samuel Callahan, your mother's calling.
I don't think my mother sounds like that.
Your
She should. I hereby erase your mother's voice that she sounds like what Garrett just did.
Your mother.
My mother's a very nice lady, Brandon. She would be nothing but polite to you.
I mean, you can sound like that and still be a nice lady.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
I watch Jimmy Neutron. You can't have a voice like that. Nice.
Oh shit.
I go to church every Sunday, and I
Are you from like the 1920s?
I donate to puppy shelters.
No, you can't be nice. I just tried. You can't.
Holy
No,
shit.
you can't donate to
In
pop
that
shops
voice?
with a voice like that. They fucking turn you away.
I made milk and cookies.
Okay, that was,
Welcome to.
The
now
hell
you sound
is
like
that?
a fucking witch from the 1800s.
No shit. Like this is going like
Do it.
it's like it's going. It's like the farther you guys go with this, the farther away from
Actual
old lady you
mothers.
go. You just go into other monstrous
Well, we're
shit.
talking about Charky's mom now.
No,
Yes, I
you don't.
did.
You totally don't want to talk about my mom, dude.
No, I wouldn't. I'd probably get my ass beat.
Yes,
By
you
your
would.
mom.
Buy her. Buy her.
I love how I said that right before you did.
It's common knowledge. Anyway, so how do we talk about video games? I forget.
Do we? I don't know.
Sometimes.
Were there any
I should
questions?
make one of you. Oh right, that's a good start. Just
I
the
love
combination of
despite
everything
the fact
wrong
that
with me
Sam
right
is the
now.
host, Charky's the one that's guiding this podcast.
Hey, to be fair, he doesn't have a headache, a bad throat, and it's tired as hell.
I have a
Actually,
cough.
he does have a cough though. I'll give him that.
Believe it.
That's some good whiskey and coke.
I'm assuming you guys didn't read questions last week.
No, we did not.
No, we didn't.
Okay. Shit. We read this one? We did. That was the one that we lost. I'm
Don't
not
you
gonna
use
reiterate-
foul language on the cast, young man. Not like we have ever used that kind of language here.
I'm not going to reiterate questions that we already answered. It was in the episode that we lost, because it's whatever.
Yeah,
I think I've already done that.
we addressed those.
Right.
I've already done that.
So is this podcast going to have a lost episodes feature then?
I mean, the problem is it's gone forever. There's no way to recover it.
Yeah.
It's not like I put it away in a shelf
It is.
and
It
lost
is
It's,
forever
like,
lost to
gone.
the ether. Like it's lost as in it will never go. It will never be put on the air.
Nope.
It can't be. Like it
It doesn't
physically
exist.
can't.
It no longer exists. We have no evidence to prove they actually did any recordings that week.
It's true. The secret is we didn't do any recording. We just took a week off. It's a dark secret.
So what was the like Nostalgia Critic's mistake when he accidentally got rid of his former cast members' goodbye video?
Yeah, that was ironic and weird. Alright. Mr. Brandon Perkins has a question. Two of them. One is that he first says, "Hey guys, hope everything is going okay. You managed to get back on track." Not really, but thanks for the vote of confidence.
Thanks for the word of confidence.
Yeah. As a side to loosen the recording, this is why I use
Everyone
Windows
said
7.
it, so I'm gonna say it now. Vote of confidence.
Yep. Also, I've tried using Windows 7. I wrote about it at one point, and that's on my Google Drive. I'll post it somewhere. Bad idea. Anyway, questions. With the recent announcement about Elite Dangerous, which you guys are familiar with that, right?
No.
It's like Wing
What?
Commander.
Oh,
There you go.
what happened?
It's a game. It's like,
Oh, no. I know what the game is.
it's like a space sim, like kind of like Wing Commander or Free Space.
What about it?
Okay.
You guys are a fan of the old school space sim games, stuff like Wing Commander, Free Space, that kind of thing. I have to admit that Wing Commander still holds up all these years later.
I think it does. I played it recently.
I feel like I would be, but I never played any of them. Wing Commander is free on Origin.
Yeah,
or
on
it
Origin
was.
right now. Totally, go
I've
play it.
honestly never played a Wing Commander game, so I wouldn't be able to answer this
I played
question.
Wing
Has,
Commander
Matthew
3. That was
McConaughey,
considered
I
one of
think.
the best.
Isn't that the famous one in it? I think it's Matthew. I don't remember. There's some famous people in there. They have like F&B cutscenes. I think also like TIE Fighter is kind of like that. And there's all kinds of games in that genre. I haven't played any of them. I'm sure I'd be interested, but I just don't have that kind of time commitment.
I can remember way back when, like, early '90s, my dad managed to get some free like computer games and stuff from like friends of his, and this was basically where I played like Star Wars X-Wing, like
Right.
the old ass like probably one of the earliest times I could think of they've ever tried to do polygons in a PC game, and it looked like super blocky and everything. But if you were in the HUD, like if you were in like the cockpit, everything was like 2D. But if you zoomed out, it was like this really blocky polygon, like I want to say it was called X-Wing Starfighter. I think it was just called Star Wars X-Wing Starfighter or something. It was on PC.
Yeah, I mean, they
a
made
lot of
multiple.
people remember. Yeah, because there was also TIE Fighter. The other, I don't know if I would go so far as call it the Space Sim, but there was this one game called called Freelancer, which it was essentially like it was a Microsoft Games joint, and it was really big on like the biggest thing I remember about that was like the mouse controls in that game, and there was this whole thing of like you play like this bounty hunter slash fucking smuggler or whatever, and like you would just be progressively buying different ships and different equipment and
I
everything.
know what you're talking about. You're talking about what's it built over?
Freelancer.
I don't know.
No, I can't
Freelancer was the name of it.
No, was it Freelancer?
I think it was Freelancer.
What game are you thinking of? That's
I'm not thinking of Piltover. I'm thinking Piltover is a city in the lore of League of Legends. I'm thinking of
Very random.
Pilot. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Spoony did a video of it.
That helps.
I'm not sure.
It begins with a
I don't
P.
know.
This is also
But yeah, I
helpful.
mean, I haven't played like too many space sims, so I mean, I kind of don't have an opinion on like some of the new stuff that they have coming out. It's just one of those genres that I've never been like super into.
Seems kind of funny that there's like a sudden revival. I wonder if that can be attributed to what's the big one? The $30 million one?
I don't know, but
Star
I don't
Citizen?
know after.
Yeah, Star Citizen. Like, I wonder if that's Kickstarter success where people were just like, oh, I guess we can make space sims again. Because they'll make money.
I get so fucking tired of hearing about that. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Did we talk about this the last time we have your questions?
Yeah,
Yeah, because Star Citizen, Brandon asked that at one point about what we thought
like
about
he
Star
explicitly
Citizen.
asked about it, which I
Yeah.
don't mind. It's just that fucking Star Citizen, man. I'm just shut
It's
up.
probably up to like 100 million or no, it was like billions, wasn't it? I don't remember. Let me check. How much money Star Citizen raised?
It was known for being one of the hugest money sinks of Kickstarter.
I'm sure they have a
If
thing.
not
that's
not
For a
the,
while.
but like one of them.
Here we go. Funding goals. Let's see what they've reached. Current stretch goal is 58 million.
Million?
Right now
Holy
they've got
shit.
$57,725,992,
Damn.
and that's only from
Holy
600,000 people.
That's a
verified.
Potato
lot
salad.
of money. That's it for a space sim game.
So think about this though. Consider this: $57 million raised by less than 1 million people. How much money on average is a person putting in?
I don't know.
That's terrifying.
Fucked if I know.
How many people donated?
617,000 for 57 million.
Jesus Christ. That means
That's
each
their
person.
last one.
That means that's about like 110 per person.
Okay, so they haven't even like laid out their final stretch goal because they just keep making more.
Hmm. What was their original fundraising goal?
It's like 2 million or something like that, I think.
I figured as
Or
much.
like 1 million. It was a big one for sure. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
I wonder if they're going to have the Double Fine syndrome with that kind of money. Were they
They're just gonna
attempting to
split
make
it into
game
Star
that-
Citizen 1.
No.
For
Like the
some
thing.
reason, I thought you were gonna say Double Dare. I love that game.
No, the thing with having that much money is that it really tempts developers to start doing things that were beyond the scope of the original project.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
They
they've
have the
already
money
gone
to.
way beyond their original scope. But the question is whether it's stuff they were going to do anyway, and they're just doing it now. My biggest theory, and I think we talked about this last time, Star Citizen, is that it's just never going to come out because they just keep making more shit, and it's like there's no way you're keeping up with this as the funding comes in. You must be like a good few items behind.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it'll be like 3 years from now, be like, well, we got to the 16th stretch goal out of 30.
Expect delays
Lots of them.
in your morning traffic.
God. That thing just seems like a nightmare to me. I probably wouldn't be working on that because you're not going to deliver the product people want, no matter how good it is.
Well, no matter
Yeah,
how,
you just don't-
no matter
you
how
just
well
don't-
polished it is, you're not going to appease everyone because there are so many. Not only are there so many high expectations, but there's so many different expectations.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like fucking Duke Nukem Forever. It's like the reason that game turned out the way it did is because nobody wanted to define what the clear fucking finish line was.
Nope.
Nobody wanted to say, okay, I know these are great, but let's stop here and just finish this project.
And that was a
Because-
linear shooter, not like an open world, you can add as
Yeah.
much shit for the rest of your life kind of game.
Yeah,
Hey guys,
'cause it-
Not
why
an
are
inherently
we?
modular game.
Why are we adding so many shitty puzzles and platforming segments in a Duke Nukem game?
I ran out of
but like,
ideas.
there's, I mean, and I will guarantee you that there is not a single game that comes out where every developer looked at it and said, "Yeah, we did everything we were going to do with this game, and everything we wanted to do with it, we did it."
If you have
No,
a
you
criticism
didn't.
for a game, more often than not, the developers know.
I think
yeah,
I,
If
I
you
think I
tell a
read that from some
developer,
developer,
honestly,
like,
more often than
post.
not, they know what they did wrong.
I can't
There's
remember what it was
always-
I read, but there was a big article a few years ago where a developer talked exactly about that. Where he said,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like, you have
there's-
no idea the amount of stress that we go under trying to put everything in, and we're never happy with our product.
You
Yeah.
can't tell a developer something they probably haven't already told themselves. It's not possible.
Oh, and you know that same article
Well, I
also
mean,
was
it's
talking
not
about
even-
bugs. That was
Like,
it,
it's
though.
not even like stuff they did wrong, but like there's always like features that they wish they could have gotten in, but they didn't have the time to do it. And that's the thing. They have to learn to say, no, we don't have time to put this in. Fucking just
At some
don't
point,
worry
you gotta
about
draw
it.
the
Get the
line.
project done. Get it out of there. Just
And that's how we get Destiny.
Yeah.
Can always relate it back to Destiny, can't we? That's why I call it the Destiny cast.
We are the best Destiny podcast on the internet.
Probably one of like 100 by now. So many people are like crazy over that game, and I'm like, what's so crazy about it? There's not even enough content to fill a single episode.
Dude, let me tell you all
And
about
every
all the
day people
exotic
are
weapons you get.
And every day people are finding the paywall areas.
okay. Seriously, was there another question?
Yes, yes, there was.
Let's get to it.
As a follow-up, have you guys ever played a game that you found so complicated that you simply just gave up? I've attempted to play Battlecruiser 3080 years ago and simply could not hash it because of the overcomplicated interface. Thanks, guys. Don'ts.
Oh, I know I have an answer for this. I just need to find.
Yeah,
I can
that's
make a
the
list for
exact
you.
same
And
thing.
it starts with Civilization 5. Just fuck that game.
Oh, I had a friend that tried to teach me that game. He did not succeed.
That and pretty much most RTSs aside from Dawn of War 2. Like any of them that are like, well, you can build this kind of base that upgrades into this, and you have commander points for this. I'm like, I don't fucking, dude. No, I don't understand this whole rock paper scissors game between 50 units.
I know there was something like this that happened to me recently. I'm struggling to come up with whatever it was.
Also, Arma, even though I love it, so I guess it's not technically an answer because I haven't given up.
I will say I've tried Arma. I haven't given up on it, but
Never give up on Arma.
I
Arma won't give
no.
up on you.
no, I want to play Arma. I especially want to play the Arma Battle Royale.
You should play Arma Karts. It's go-kart racing. In Arma.
No,
That's what it
Uh,
is.
I know it's
So
no.
great.
But I do want to play the Arma 3.
It's the Hunger Games mod,
Battle
basically.
Battle Royale. Someone did a Battle Royale mod, and
Yeah,
it's
I've
apparently
played it.
super fucking awesome. Yeah.
It's like the Hunger Games where you start out with nothing and you have to collect all your resources.
So the question is a game that you find too complicated to get into.
Yeah, it's so complicated that you gave up on playing it altogether.
Oh, this is going to sound somewhat shameful when I say this,
Damn it!
but
Spider-Man 2.
I'm still
For me,
struggling to find the answer to
a
this.
lot of fighting games fall into this category. I'm a bit more of
Yep.
a casual fighting game player.
I
There
know
are
how you feel
some-
about that one.
There are a couple that I'm really good with, like Soul Calibur or Persona 4 Arena, that I can just like get instinctively. But there's a lot of them that I just like. I see the move list and I can intuitively see how one might be able to do it, but I cannot bring myself. But no matter how hard I try, I'm just not able to.
Yeah, it doesn't help that every fighting game is different.
Like Street Fighter, it's like I can pull off Hadouken, and that's about it.
Can I ask you which Street Fighter, by the way, did you
2
try?
and 4. I've tried both 2 and 4.
Which was
Which
there
version of
either
2?
one? Like no. Like I'm just saying, like okay, in a broad sense, between 2 and 4, which one of those intimidated you the most?
Honestly, 4 did.
You are right to say that. And you know what? I'm gonna say 4
I watch
also.
people play Street Fighter 4. I'm like, there is no fucking way I could ever
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
dedicate
Isn't it?
enough time to get that good. I just don't have the time for
It-
it.
Oh god, yeah. I'm just gonna say Street Fighter 4 because you know, and I am somebody who is into fighting games, and I do play them. You know, and granted, I'm not somebody that goes to tournaments or any bullshit like that. God no, but I enjoy learning about them and the various systems and everything that they have in place. And I agree wholeheartedly with Brandon. Street Fighter 4, fuck that game. Street Fighter 2, that is great. I still love playing
which
Street Fighter 2.
version?
Like Street Fighter 2, I've played a couple sessions. I'm not great. I'm okay, but against but I realize the reason I'm so bad is I only have the chance to play against the AI, and the AI is a fucking cheating bastard.
They can be, yeah. They can do some bullshit.
Because they can do things that are literally impossible for a human player to do.
I'm gonna tell that to the championship winners.
But like Street Fighter 4, like you go on, like I've been to like Shoryuken.com, and some of the crazy bullshit that they talk about. Like I know there's a lot of stuff that you take into account in a fighting game, like what invincible frames you have and all kinds of various bullshit. But Street Fighter 4, like, get the fuck out of my face with some of the stuff that they do. Like, this is when you do and don't have armor. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to worry about this? It's like they went so far to make it seem like here's like a 3D high definition version of 2, but with polygons and everything. But if you play Street Fighter 4 like Street Fighter 2, you have fucked up. And Street Fighter 4, like, it has so many mechanics that it did not even need, and so much bullshit in place, like the charge system and all this fucking God. Yeah,
semi-related. I tried getting Street Fighter Cross Tekken on the Vita because I had it free for PlayStation Plus.
Oh fuck that game!
I tried, and I fucking tried, dude. And there was just none of this happening.
Game is shit.
There was none of this happening. I tried for like an hour. I uninstalled it from my Vita.
Yeah,
like, this is not going to happen.
And granted, I have not messed around with that one, but I can tell you about Street Fighter 4. Like I've played every iteration of that game, from vanilla all the way up to ultra. And vanilla, at least, I kind of felt okay with. But as they started adding more and more bullcrap from like turbo and super and fucking arcade edition and then ultra, it's like there's just way too much bullshit in here for a fighting game like this.
I didn't know they added systems to it. I thought it was just characters and rebalancing.
Well, they've been adding characters, but like with the more characters that they add, there's all kinds of tweaks and bullcrap that they have to modify for like the pre-existing systems. Like I said, when you do and don't have armor, and like how the fucking I forget what it's called. There's like a charge move if like you hit both mediums.
Let me just say,
less powerful. It's I know what move you're talking about. That where you hold 2 buttons, you can take 1 attack at a time.
Yeah, and it does like this whole like ink blot thing because they wanted to make it look like something out of the trailers. But like Street Fighter 4, like I said, if you play that game like Street Fighter 2, you fucked up, and that is.
Let me just say, a fighting game is not for you when you're in the tutorial section and you can't even pull off a certain like move in the tutorial where you're totally safe and there's like no risk of you failing and you still can't pull it off. That's when you know that you're gonna have trouble in a fighting game.
You know, it's
I just wish they would.
Well,
that's me. That's me with Skullgirls. I love that game.
Skullgirls I like.
Yeah, I love Skullgirls. Man, I'm not that great.
Me and Chris played it. It was fun. You should. I think fighting games help when you play with friends as far as learning them.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though that like I agree with you about Street Fighter, and yet at the same time I love Blaze Blue, and I'm not sure if it's just because I like that it's an Arc Systems game, or if it's because it's so complicated but they present it up front. They're like, look, everyone has their own system. It's all perfectly individual for every character. So as long as you can just learn that character, you're fine. Granted, I don't go my way to learn everybody. I just learn like the 2 that I play.
Arc System is way better at their
craft. And this is one of the things that I really like Persona 4 Arena for, is that they do offer a lot of ways to help newbies get at least in touch with the game, like figure out some of the basics.
Like the single button thing I've heard about.
Auto combo.
Yep, it's pretty great.
Yeah, but that's not like the big thing. Like the challenge.
Well, I mean, like once you get skilled enough, you can see auto combos coming from a mile away because it's the same animation every time.
Yeah, but like I said, like there is like a challenge mode in there. Like if you want to learn a particular character, if you go through there, you can actually get better with a certain character.
It basically tells you how to perform all their combos.
But yeah, like Street Fighter 4, yeah, fuck that game. I just really wish like they would have done something like Street Fighter 3. But obviously that talent is no longer even at Capcom more
But
than
yeah,
likely.
that's my answer. Is like a lot of like the Capcom-esque fighting games. I can't do them. I just don't get them.
Well, the Capcom fighting games today, 10 years
Yeah.
ago, they were at the fucking probably 15 years ago, they were at the top of their fucking game, like with all the crazy shit that they did. But like today, no.
Yeah, that's my answer. It's like any game in the past 10 years that's a fighting game that's made by Capcom. No, can't do it.
Well,
Absolutely
anything
not.
Capcom
And yet everything
really.
Arc Systems touch is beautiful.
I've never played BlazBlue.
Blaze Blue is pretty great.
Blaze
So-
Blue, I will warn you. Like there are some characters that
So I literally
not-
wouldn't know the answer if I was good at that game or not.
if you do not like doing quarter circle movements, because there is the dude that I like to play as, his combos were basically quarter circle on top of quarter circle and then on top of quarter
What
circle.
was that? Was it Bong?
I can do them. I'm even in Persona 4 Arena. I sometimes have trouble getting quarter circle, certain button.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I'm really good at the Mortal Kombat remake that came out.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
good.
and
nice.
God, what else? There's one more.
I want to play Blaze
It's
Blue now.
Injustice. Injustice, and I know that's by the
Mhm.
same people. but
I
yeah,
have fun with
Injustice. I got really good at. I got really good at Injustice as Harley Quinn.
I'm not great at the game, but I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
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 See that's my thing with Skullgirls. I can't even beat the main. I can't even beat the Skullgirl in
To be fair, I played Skullgirls
I will-
too, and that campaign is hard, man.
the campaign.
Yeah,
Let's not fuck
that
around.
final boss is cheap as shit. Like that's my only complaint
Yeah,
about
it was the
that.
exact
Like
same in
turn the
Blaze Blue,
difficulty
though.
not easy.
Yeah.
I beat every single.
because I think it was like Exiliad 13 or something like that. She had a weird name.
I beat every single person without dying, and then that Skullgirl popped up. I'm like, oh man, this
Yeah,
is a thing.
pretty much same here, man. Like
This is an ordeal.
it's a
Okay.
very noticeable thing in the game. Like people seem to know about it. So you're not alone.
Like this is bullshit. Okay.
You are not alone.
Also, be right back. Buying
should
Blaze
move
Blue
on.
from Amazon now. I want to play Noelle again. I miss her combos.
Is it Blaze or BlazBlue? I've heard both.
Pronounce Blaze.
You've even gone on record as saying it's Blaze Blue and corrected me for saying
Have I?
such.
Yes, it is Blaze
Yes,
Blue.
you have. You
I believe you. I
motherfucker.
just don't remember it.
Oh, I fucking remembered.
Okay, now I have to figure out which one's the newest
No, I
Blaze
believe you
Blue.
because that's something that a dipshit like me
The
would
newest
say.
Blaze Blue is Chrono Phantasma.
Okay, I lost track after Calamity Trigger.
That came out this year.
Wow.
And Calamity Trigger was the
That's
very
the first
first one.
Yep, that's the only one I ever played.
It goes Calamity Trigger, Continuum Shift, and then Chrono Phantasma.
Okay.
Is there like a lore to
37.
Blaze Blue that I would need to know before I played it, or could I just like go into
As far
anyone?
as characters? Oh, hell
Probably
no.
not,
It's super
because I was
simple.
really good at. I really liked the first game, and I couldn't tell you shit about the story.
I played the entire story mode from like 5 different characters. It's like
I just know, like,
think,
there's a guy in a red trench coat.
Okay, so there's
and he's super
Ragna,
pissed
the
that
Blood
this dude-
Edge, and then there's Jin, and Jin is part of the same like military corporation that Noelle's part of, and Noelle is the daughter, or no, the little sister of Jin and Ragna. Ragna doesn't know she's related. Noelle doesn't know she's related because they had a house fire where Noelle was separated.
Okay, we're
from
gonna be
them,
here
and Jin's
forever if
looking
you-
for
So where
Noelle.
all
does
of
Soul
this.
Edge and Soul Calibur take place in this lore?
Oh fuck!
I don't know. I want to. All right, I'm gonna find out who's new on the newest one, and then I'm just gonna play Noelle forever.
So yeah, does anyone else have anything
Great.
they think is too complex for them to learn?
No, I think we
Guys-
answered that. I
Pretty
think we totally
thoroughly.
I mean,
answered
there's,
that.
there's very few
I-
games that, like, the question, the way you phrased it was, I quit. And there are very few games that I've actually quit because they were too
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, there are a few games I'll quit because I go, I don't get
Yeah.
it. Like I'll
There's a
keep
lot that are
playing.
complicated and I still play them, yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep trying it, and then eventually I'll get to the point where I go, I know this game, and someone
Yeah,
else goes,
like
I don't know this game, and I'll say, oh, let me tell you about this game.
Like I said about 20 minutes ago now, I think Civ is the only one that actually started, and then I purely quit because I could not understand it, and I never went back.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's been a game like even RTSs. I tried StarCraft, didn't get it, kept playing it, loved it, and then I have to get StarCraft too, and then I played
Okay, how many fighting games am I about to buy right now?
Path of Exile, and that one took me a little bit. Actually, no, it was Torchlight 2. That was the one I started with. So yeah, no, I don't know.
What about you, Nick?
Any games that are too complex for me?
Like
Too
so
complex
Something that was so
you made you quit.
Uh,
Sorry about clicky keyboard. It's new.
I can't really think of any because I usually don't quit on games. But I think the most recent one I can think of that I quit just because I really don't know the full reason for it, but I just couldn't get into it was Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Steam.
I believe that.
I
won't
wish
blame
I
you
had
for
quit
that
Baldur's Gate 2. I didn't, but I wish I
I
had.
remember
Hmm?
that.
Well, he's
You kept
he's
playing
talking
it
about
and you
Knights of the
hated
Old
it.
Republic, but
Yeah.
Aren't they the... isn't that formerly of the same guys, though?
yeah, BioWare.
Yeah,
Obsidian?
it's BioWare.
Yeah, and then Obsidian.
Wait,
And I think
KOTOR
Fallout
2 is Obsidian.
Yeah. Isn't Obsidian former BioWare guys, though? Or was it... I think
No.
I don't remember.
I
They're
don't remember.
former Interplay guys.
Interplay, that's what it was. God, this shit's complicated.
They really like
Yeah,
the
KOTOR
original Fallout guys.
KOTOR 2, you are not wrong to give up on because I did the exact same thing. Not because it was too complicated, but I just wasn't really feeling like the story and the characters.
Yeah, like I guess I played too much Mass Effect to like fully appreciate voice acting, and then when I found my character is just some guy that just shrugs and nods his head, it's whenever he answers, it just took that feeling away.
I mean, I kind of prefer when characters don't always have to talk, but like, biggest thing for me about KOTOR 2 was that fucking nagging bitch Freya or Kreia, whatever her name is. Like, I just wanted her to fucking drop dead.
That
Because
whore.
the only reason she's there is to second guess every single thing that you do. Even if you were somebody that is
Yeah.
playing like light side Jedi, she's always like, did you really have to do that? Did you have to go out of your way? It's like, yeah, because it's the right thing to do, bitch. Fuck off. Like, you're a member of the Jedi Order, right? Okay, well the game says to be a Jedi, I do this, so you can shut up. Like, I would get it if I was going dark side and she was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, if it was two separate characters. But she's one character, and no matter what decision you make, she always second guesses you, like, did you really have to do that? Because I'm not sure. Like, bitch, shut up.
Wait,
I don't
was
know,
Freya
Achark.
was Freya that
You have
old
to
woman you
shut
woke
up,
up
though?
with?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you-
the old woman.
Did you actually have to be an absolute paragon? Because I think you could have been even more of a paragon.
I don't
like
know.
like
Yeah,
honestly,
you
when
could've
I
been
was
nicer.
when I was doing the tutorial on that space mine, I was the whole time whenever she would just interrupt me, I'm just like, just let me play the way I want to, and just
Yep.
Did you really have to play that way, or could you have chosen to be a mage instead?
You could have been a rogue, you know.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into KOTOR. Like I expected the combat system to be a bit more, but it's just generic. Oh, stop time! Spam this attack a few times and hope you land a hit.
So I think we somehow answered Adonis' question somewhere in between all of that.
Yeah, at some point. I'm looking at buying a copy of Resonance of Fate because I
am probably going to get that at some point myself, because I actually like Trice RPGs a lot.
Dude, I got about 20 hours in that game. It's hard. Like, ball-crushingly hard. But it has no
That's
Norse
pretty
in it.
hard, man.
No Norse in it, though.
He's in everything.
He has a ponytail in this one. That's different.
He's in everything.
Holy shit, he has a ponytail.
Everything has changed. Also, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, that's definitely a full-price game.
Yep. Totally is.
Yeah, I'll wait. Alright, well, we're out of questions.
Time for the usual.
Usual.
Do we have time for the usual? I mean, holy
Who's going
shit.
first?
It's been a while. I think we
Well,
should
Sam,
start
you haven't
with...
been around. Fuck.
Well, I've been
Oh.
around. I was gonna say we start with our guests, mostly because I have to remember what the hell
Yeah.
I did. So I gotta go write this down.
Nicholas,
Yes.
I'm gonna make a note.
what have you been doing this week?
Well, this week I have been blistering my thumbs over Super Smash Bros. 3DS.
How's that been going?
Honestly,
getting smashed?
I have been getting smashed. The game is quite challenging compared to other Smash Brothers games, which I enjoy. And the game it's very well ported. The graphics are great. The controls are excellent. The only problem is online. It has a tendency to just lag into the point where you just want to quit.
Mm.
Yeah, I played it with a friend of mine who lives down in Atlanta, which is about 40 minutes from me, and we still encountered a tiny bit of lag.
Yeah, I was playing with a friend from Arizona, I think, and he was. We were just sitting back and watching our characters finish off their moves for like 5 minutes.
Oh,
That's how
Jesus.
bad the lag was.
So,
So good job, Nintendo, but the online needs to be worked on.
to be fair, that's Nintendo's weak point. That's been hit their weak point for a while now. Is online stuff.
hmm
But what characters have you been playing as?
Oh my god, I've always had a soft spot for my Zelda characters like Zelda, Sheik, and Link. I've been playing Robin, who is. Have you guys played the new Fire Emblem game for the 3D?
From
3DS?
no.
Yeah,
No.
I have, so I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's your main character. I've been playing him for a bit. He's a mixed like range mage kind of character. He's pretty fun to use, and I think those are the only characters I've been playing so far. Oh, and Lucario, of course.
Of course, everybody loves Lucario.
Well, yeah, I remember when he was called the Mewtwo clone.
How is I'm curious about some of the other characters like some of the other new characters like Little Mac and Mega Man especially.
Mega Man, he's more of like a bit of a, in my opinion, a bit of a debuffed Samus. Like I haven't seen it. Like instead of like firing his Mega Blaster for his B, he fires like a little like
Fires like a
spinny
standard
circle
shot.
with blades on. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weak. Little Mac,
It's
he's
the best
kind of
character
annoying.
in Smash.
He's kind of annoying because he can build up like, from what I've seen, he can build like up his power to instantly knock you out and it will destroy you and
Ooh.
take away one of your lives.
It's not instant KO, but it does like 50% or something massive for a single
Yeah,
hit.
so yeah, if you have more than 60 or 80, then you're kind of
Yeah,
done.
you're fucked. You are completely fucked.
Pac-Man, he's pretty decent. He's pretty decent. I haven't seen too much of him though. One of the things I really thought was kind of interesting though is that they actually have a create your own fighter called the Mii Fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
are
I'm
you
wondering-
played yourself yet?
Yep, I actually have.
I mean,
Tier-
and that's
tier-
one of the other. So the Mii fighter, is it like it is a Mii that has like a standard move set, or is it something that you can kind of make a cookie cutter version based off other characters?
There
Or
are three movesets.
You can kind of cookie cutter it. I think there may be more options. I haven't gotten around to playing all that much with it, like I said earlier. But basically he can be like a brawler, like just go up and punch people. He can be a swordsman. He can be a blaster, and you have different things that you can use, like futuristic looking stuff, or make him look like a ninja. And like if he's a
Believe
sword
it.
fighter, he can use like Link's spinning attack. He can just basic sword stuff for now, but I think there might be stuff that you can unlock by playing in the game. And they
Interesting.
already have a huge cast. When you first start, you already have like a huge cast of characters you can play as. But when you play through the story, you'll get that challenger appears. So far, I've unlocked Falco and Ness. Then there's apparently a lot more because when I was randomly scrolling through the characters, I went to the bottom screen where there was nothing there. But it's obvious that there's more space.
Yeah, I've already unlocked one more past that, and I know there's one more after that. I don't know anything about anything else. Yes.
So is there anything else you've been playing this week, Nick?
I'm sorry.
Anything else you've been doing this week?
Well, ever since I got my Samsung Galaxy S5, I've been spamming this game that's oddly addictive. It's called Brave Frontier.
I've heard of it. I don't remember what
Have you guys heard of it?
I have.
No.
I have not heard of it.
Basically, think of it as like it's a cheaper mobile, like Final Fantasy-esque kind of game where you can go on like quests. They have like weekly events called the Vortex Gate, and it's a really fun and addictive game. But of course, with all free-to-play games, it comes with that buy-to-win thing.
yeah.
And
Does
if
it
you
have
go
an
to the
energy meter?
yeah. And if you go to the PvP arena, it's obvious that you can see who the buy to win people are.
I
Yeah.
spent thousands of dollars to beat people online in a mobile game. It's a hell of a life you must live.
Yeah, it is fairly addictive, and it's quite easy to fall into the buy to win trap. I admit to have done that, but I've broken the habit.
Yeah, just don't.
That reminds me of
Don't
Marvel
touch
Puzzle
it.
Quest.
Oh god, Brandon, you and Marvel Puzzle Quest. It's like your Dark Souls.
Hey, I haven't played that game in over 2 months. And I
Oh
intend
my
to
god,
keep
a
it that
whopping
way.
It's
2
like
months.
smoking for him. He's just like, I gotta go back. I need it.
No, wait. Actually, longer. 'Cause that was before the whole the recent scandal with all the shit that's going on. I don't want to talk about it. So it's
Wait,
been longer than 2
What
months.
scandal? Let's talk about it.
I'm not talking about it. Fuck this.
Wait, I'm gonna look up the scandal. What the fuck?
Talking about it now.
What the hell?
Yeah,
We're
what the
gonna
hell's
free-play
going
game
on?
Scandal? Like we sold your information to somebody?
It
It's not
rhymes
what-
with Tamer's Gate.
Yeah.
Huh. Lion taming.
Oh.
That's why I didn't want to talk about it.
Why?
You know, I've noticed that a lot of scandals these days just have gate at the end of it.
Yeah, that's a common thing.
Well, that means that the controversy is not worth talking about, so we can just simply disregard it.
You don't want to talk about Bengate for the iPhone 6 Plus?
Ben 10? Love that show.
I love Ben 10.
Well, I wanna talk
no,
about it
there's also
because-
there's also
I want to talk about
there's
something called
there's
a bench,
also-
no, I don't care.
There's also Hairgate and Beardgate, because if the iPhone 6 has actually been pulling away people's hairs and facial hair.
Yep.
Ugh.
Wow.
What?
It's because there's a small layer between
Yeah.
the glass and the aluminum siding, and it's just enough that if you get a hair stuck in there, it won't come out normally. Pull
Jesus.
it out.
What?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
happens when you make a phone so damn
The
thin.
iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is a mess right now.
I mean, the biggest problem is
Thanks,
they wanted
Obama.
to make it so
Apple's
fucking
engineers,
thin
like,
that they
fall
hurt
asleep at the
everything else
wheel?
about the phone.
Did Apple's engineers just get drunk one day and decide let's make a stupid ass phone and they called it the iPhone 6?
No, it's because people always want thinner phones and no bezels, and it has to come at a cost. The
Well,
thing
hey,
is
now
so
we-
thin
now
that
we
it
have
bends
the
because
You know,
there's
like
nothing to
quality.
it.
Eventually,
Yeah.
Apple's gonna say you don't want a thin phone because look what happens.
I mean, that's the thing, is that people complain about the bending, and well, then stop asking for thinner phones. At some point, something has to give. And at some point, it's just...
You know,
And
that's
then
why.
apparently it's the phone and the spare skinny jeans that gives.
Yep.
You want a
That's why
Nokia.
I like my iPhone 5S and my Nexus 5.
That's
neither
why.
bend.
It's like, look, if you
That's
want
why
a
if
thinner
I-
phone,
if I
just
get-
wait till we come out with a little hologram thing, like what Tony Stark had in the Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
It's actually coming.
Get an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, much cheaper than an
They're,
iPhone.
they're making a really weird thing though that I'm not a big fan of. They're making this these phones that are chips that go in your arm, and your hand, your palm is the number pad.
Yeah, I've seen those.
It's an Obama
Yeah.
plan.
It's conspiracy.
oh Jesus.
And the NSA
Gate.
tracks you through it.
Phone gate. Arm gate. Arm your gate.
'Cause obviously, you know the president's a alien lizard from outer space.
No, it's no fact. I mean, come on. Even he
Fuck
admits
yeah.
that.
Confirmed.
What are we talking about?
Nick was talking about something
Nick
he was
on,
doing.
yeah, Nick was on
Decided
something.
to
That was
completely
Something about
hijack
video
that.
games that turned into phones.
This is
Uh,
for the viewers out there. I want you to know this is a typical discussion amongst us. We do not change how we act in front of the camera. This is just what happens.
Yeah, this is kind of normal. It's almost a shame we don't talk more often in that sense. Think of all the things we get done.
I remember there was one annotation I made that we just started one topic and I couldn't help it. And then we talk about this and we talk about this, and that was like an 8, and we talk about X in a row of different topics, and it was in a 2-minute span.
Yeah, sounds about right. We're fantastic people. So, do you do anything else, Nick?
Besides working and turning down a new job, no, not really.
Aw.
Oh, jobs.
Yeah, well, I also got some good news. Got some friends out in Ohio that have given me their blessing to move in with them next year if I'm able to.
Oh, what, Charky,
That's
that was so
cool.
nice of you.
Yeah, good job, Chris.
Really?
Let's all not jump the shark here.
Oh, I want to live with
Jump
Chris.
the shark.
Wow,
That was
dumb.
terrible, but funny.
I think I've earned a
I already
ban.
know what the cover of this week's episode is going to be, and it's going to require some Photoshop.
Yeah, but
Chris, I'm going to need a picture of your face.
fuck off.
And a
You
pic-
got what it's on. I can show you where he has a picture of himself.
Actually,
on-
yeah, he has one on Twitter. I'm gonna
Damn
get
it.
that, and then just get the Jaws poster, and we're in business.
Oh shit.
Yes,
It's gonna be great.
I love movies, so yeah, that'd be fun.
Excellent.
Oh, that reminds me. Thank
So
you.
I know what the episode title is too. Oh god.
I'm sorry. I just also remembered this because it was such a blah movie. Thank you, Garrett. I also saw Dracula Untold last night.
Oh god.
It was an all-right movie, but the only thing I really liked was that Tywin Lannister was a badass vampire.
That's a Game of Thrones reference.
That's another thing. Whenever he was in a scene, they had him say the word "game" like about 5 times. and
Get
like
it?
when he was
Do you get it?
yeah, like when he was talking to Vlad, he said there are much bigger games to be played, and I said out loud the Game of Thrones, and the theater just started busting up.
Nice.
It's like,
He
holy
talked to a
shit.
skeleton and he could talk about playing the game of Bones.
I went and saw.
Talk to Obama, and he'll play the Game of Drones.
I went and saw. It was pretty good. I went and saw. I love making theaters laugh. I was doing that at a Twilight showing. I do that at good movies too. I did that at
So not
Drive for some really stupid reason. The character walks around with a coat with blood all over it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I want to see him like walk into a fast food joint with that. And just for some reason, the guy next to us started laughing. There was one point where he chases a guy into the ocean, and I just went, "I'm Aquaman, bitch! You won't catch me." And for some reason, again, that got the guy laughing. I was like, okay.
Well, yeah,
That's
Oh,
always like
I
the
think-
best feeling is getting people to laugh.
I think the last time I got a theater busting up laughing was when I watched The Desolation of Smog, and when the movie hit that black screen, I was like, "Is that the end? Is that what's gonna happen?" And then when it showed the credits, I screamed, "Damn it!" and the theater just started busting up.
Nice. What have we done? You ended the movie too soon. You don't do that.
oh man, what was it? I was thinking of something. This was not something I did, but a DJ on a local radio station, and this was a way good long time ago. Back when I think it was a late. Well, shit, it might have been before that, because before Star Wars Episode 1 ever got into theaters, they did this thing where they re-released the original Star Wars trilogy in theaters, and it was like the first real remastering that they did of them, but they were just putting them out in theaters for people to go see them. And this guy who was a DJ on a local rock station, he went to see Empire Strikes Back, and there was that whole scene of like where Leia just fucking straight up kisses Luke just to like give Han shit, like right there, you know. Like, everybody knows the scene, and of course, everybody knows the fact that, like, Leia and Luke are, like, brother and sister, right? And there was this fucking guy in this theater who's like, you know, "Oh, why buy the milk when you got the cow at home?" And, like, people just kind of laughed, like, ah, ha, 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 ha. But then he would keep making dumb references to something that happened scenes ago. Yeah, it was one of those guys. It's like... He would just, I can't remember what all he said, but he just kept making stupid jokes. And then the DJ from the radio station, he was there, and he just basically, like, he just had enough, and he's like, you know, "Why go to the movies if you stay at home, be a dumbass?" And everybody in the theater just kind of screwed him. So he was like the man in the theater right there. It was...
Yeah. I remembered one of my best moments at the theaters, and it was, we went and saw Paranormal Activity 2.
Oh God!
My friend and I, and we went there, and we're watching Paranormal Activity 2, and there's the scene where the mom gets pulled down the stairs, And the dad throughout the entire film has just been going, it's just the wind. Fuck
It's a convenience.
It's-
It's a coincidence.
It's fucking just the wind. And so the mom gets pulled down the stairs screaming down the basement, and then the door slams shut, and I just stand up and go, "It's alright, everybody. It's just the wind." And the fucking theater erupted. I'm like, yeah, that was like my golden boy moment. I'm like, yeah.
It's always
and-
good to be that standout guy in the theater.
Yeah, I'm like, and it's a Paranormal Activity 2. I'm sad.
I don't know. I still remember like a local story where just people were just kind of busting up a bit, like unintentionally, was when I would see Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Yeah, that fucking. And it wasn't like it was just me that made the theater laugh. It was just the fucking. Just how unintentionally funny that shit was.
God, I remember.
Are you sure it was unintentional?
It was one of the best unintentional comedies I'd ever seen.
No. This isn't The Room. It's Twilight. It was unintentional.
Point taken.
Also,
Yeah.
The Room was also unintentional. I don't because he. No. Have you seen he's trying to make a comedy right now? Because he was like the room was totally a comedy.
Yeah, that's a bunch of
And I'm like-
shit. That's a
I'm like-
bunch of shit.
I'm like, no, it wasn't. And so he's like, now I'm making hi Doki. Now I'm making a second movie. It's also a comedy, and he's actually trying to make no bullshit a comedy, and it's like
That's
It's gonna be the most serious movie in the world.
That'll be the worst thing ever.
I'm
Yeah,
watching the
this
I'm
week.
watching the trailer going, this is worse than cancer.
it's gonna be like what Kevin
It's-
Smith did with Tusk, to where it's just not gonna be good. Like it's not even gonna be fun. It's just
I
this
haven't
thing.
seen that, but my friend loves Kevin Smith. It's his favorite director. I don't know why. And he
Shouldn't be
said
friends
it
with him
was, yeah. He said it was like his like he's like it's a good movie. It's not great, but it's good. But no, there's a scene where really quick. There's a scene where Tommy Wiseau. It's basically like The Office, except for idiots. And Tommy Wiseau sticks pencils in his ears and is going, "Urgh!" And I'm like, I want someone to fucking shoot me.
Yeah.
I'm watching the trailer, and I want to die. I don't want to see that movie.
You know, I honestly think if Tommy Wiseau really is trying to make a comedy, he's just going to do what James Wen did with Birdemic 2 and have all of these throwbacks and cheesy references to the first movie, where it's like, yeah, we know it's a bad movie, at the same time, it's a serious movie.
It's kind of
It's a terrible film. At the same time, love the environment. Shut up.
it's kind of like this whole second album syndrome thing, or well, probably not even like that, to where these movie makers did something. They didn't mean to do this, but it ended up being good in a way they didn't expect. And then what ended up happening was like, well, I'm going to make a movie that totally appeals to that, and then it just doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
like movies that people laugh at that were unintentionally funny, you can't try to manufacture that. It just happens.
Well,
Yeah.
the only movies that can get away with that are the Sharknado movies.
Sometimes not even that.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Like-
not. I was to say not even Sharknado. Although apparently Sharknado 2,
Well-
from critics say it basically captures the magic of the first one. I'm like, okay. Really quick though, I'm trying to think. Troll 2. Troll 2 is considered to be the best shitty movie ever made.
Oh
and there's a reason. Oh my god, dude! The fly on his head should have won an Oscar. But
he
during
kind
that
of
scene,
looked
there's
like Billy from he kind of looked like Billy from Power Rangers.
in that scene though, there's a
They
fly on his
ate
face. I'm like, ah,
him. They're going to eat me.
they're eating him,
Oh my god!
and then they're gonna eat me. There's a cinema snob fucking looped that. So it keeps on zooming in on his face, and like it's zooming in, and then all of a sudden it pulls out, and then it's zooming in, and like it loops. He goes, "Oh my god!" for like a full minute without a break, and it's the best thing I've ever seen. But
I love.
yeah, Troll 2. They tried making this serious movie. It was terrible, and then they went, "You know what? This movie sucked, and people love it." and they rode that train until it derailed, and it didn't. There's a documentary. It's basically called. I think
I'm pretty sure it's called the worst movie ever made or something like
A
that.
documentary.
Yeah, like the best
yeah.
worst movie ever made or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the best worst movie ever made or some shit like that, and it's the making of that movie. And then afterwards, and there's like a Q&A. It's like, did you mean to make this terrible movie? He goes, no, I didn't, but it was a terrible film. People love it, and thank you. You gave me money, and I didn't expect that. Thank you. Like, all right. Like, they didn't try and be like, no, I'm not shitty director. Ha 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 ha. What a funny story. No, they're actually like, no, I suck, and you know what? I still made money. I don't fucking care. Like that. There you go.
That's bullshit. I made a comedy. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. I film it good. I did not.
Oh,
Hi. Oh, hi. That's bullshit. That's not true. I did not hit her. I did not.
Where
Oh,
were we, and how do we get to this point?
We were on Nick's turn, and then we talked about movies for like 40 fucking minutes.
Well, you know me. As soon as we get to movies, I'm just like, I'm there.
Let's continue this train. Garrett, what have you been doing this week?
Let me see.
Don't mind me. I'm just reading manga here.
Let me pull up
Brandon, you got this.
my word.
Yeah, I
document.
do.
For Gaming Forever, I uploaded my Destiny review. I did it all on my own, so I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I did it all by myself.
Awesome.
So if you want to find out what he did on Destiny, or what he thought of it.
I'll post it in the description.
It wasn't great.
Alright, well, there goes
Tell
that
us about
review,
how
so
not
fuck
great
it, I
it
guess I will
was.
post it.
Again, for like the 14th time we talked about it on this
Welcome to the Destiny
Exactly.
Cast, episode 4.
Yeah, or
Not a
you could just
legendary
listen,
engram.
or you could just listen to the podcast. It'll save you however long it would take you for you to read. if
Listen
you're
to the
still here.
podcast that's titled Not a Destiny Podcast.
Not a Destiny podcast. Totally a Destiny podcast. But yeah, so the game was meh, and I uploaded my review. For some reason, had picture problems at first because the picture was too big, but I put it in Paint
My picture is too big.
and I scaled it, and that worked. So the Destiny review, yeah, I'm super excited about that. Also, on Gaming Forever, I'm just going to get all this out of the way. 2 cents is going to become a monthly thing.
Now, for those of you who want to aware, what is 2 cents?
2 cents is an article is a series of articles that I made, where 2 journalists or 2 writers will debate a topic. So they'll pick a side. Each of them will pick a side that differs from one another. It's like left wing, right wing, and then there will be a debate. They will write about like what, like 2 or 3 paragraphs, explaining their case and why they're right, and then you, as the audience, you get to vote which one's right. So I have a special Halloween edition of this. Anyway, it's basically like, you know, this person saying this game sucks and this person saying this game is good. Or actually, I think the last one we did was my case was I think fast zombies are scarier, and someone else did I think slow zombies are scarier in video games. And that was the article. So yeah, that's 2 cents. Basically, they're giving their 2 cents, and there's 2 of them. They're 2 cents
Double
on a particular issue. Yeah, a particular thing in games. There's a special Halloween episode. Now, normally I wouldn't spoil what it is, but considering you're listening to the podcast and this is separate from the website, I can do that. The Halloween special episode of 2 cents is going to be Silent Hill versus Resident Evil. Which one is the better horror series? That's going to be my my side is
Homecoming is definitely going to put it on top.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill Homecoming.
You know the true answer? At the very least, she's going to say Heavy Rain was the greatest horror game I ever played.
God, that game.
It was so terrifying.
Can we
That
wait
game's
until
the
my
best.
turn before we go any further with that particular line of topic?
That game was too spoopy with its emotions.
It's so many emotions.
Can we please wait until my
Okay.
turn before we go into that particular topic?
Someone's angry.
Okay.
Brandon, don't cut time for this shit.
I really want Alien Isolation because I'm gonna have to be reviewing that. But anyway, so I'm also for Christmas. I'm having I'm having kind of a weird dilemma, and it might sound easy, but I have a case for why this is sort of a dilemma to me.
Get the green
I'm
dress.
I'm not sure. Well, it's kind of like that. Should I get the green one or the red one? I'm not sure if I want a PlayStation 4 or a PS Vita.
I would
Go
go.
with the PS4.
I would
Yeah.
go with the PS4.
Yeah,
I
even I'm gonna agree with that. Just
Yeah, I'm leaning.
The Vita can wait.
Plus,
I'm
there's a
I'm
lot of
leaning-
Vita games that are really good that can be played on
Yeah.
the PS4.
But I'm thinking, I'm like the PS Vita. I have a PSP, but this one would be just as portable. But I would have like PS2 HD remake classics on the Vita.
They're on the
And, like-
PS3 as well.
Yeah, but the PS4 is not backwards compatible, and I could have all my games.
That's right.
As far
I'm
as
not-
like exclusive stuff, I'm trying to think of what's on the Vita.
Like I could have all the Sly Cooper games. I could be playing the HD remakes of the Sly Cooper games in a car on like a 3-hour drive. Like I'm like, oh,
They have the
guess-
Jack and
I
Ratchet
guess
at the end-
collections on there too now.
yeah, that's a good point. How much do I play video games leaving the house? Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing when it comes to buying any kind of console, handheld, whatever, is look at the games that are available. And if you still need, further decision-making advice, not only do you look at the games that are available now, look at the stuff that's going to be available for them, and just kind of see what interests you. So, and that's what I tell everybody when it comes to buying a console: is go to a store, see what games they have, see what looks like something that might interest you, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right,
Considering
so
that-
yeah, because I was looking at a lot of the games they had, and I was like, these are some really.
Because I know
good
this year I'm getting
games.
a PS4 for myself personally this year.
You already own a Vita, Brandon. But
That's correct.
I'm like, oh man, the PS Vita. I'm like, there's so many good games on it, and it's portable. I'm like, I don't play my PSP as much, but I know I'd play this.
I don't know.
I don't know.
find myself playing my Vita mostly at home, just sitting at my desk.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a PS4, but I'm not sure.
Look at
And
releases,
then
see what you want to play most.
I've been playing Game Dev Tycoon. I'm like, I haven't played this in a little while.
I remember
might
playing
as
that
well.
game.
I was like,
that is the thing.
I'm gonna go back and play this a little bit. Made $540 million.
Yeah, I heard that it was pretty easy to break that game.
It
No.
was, honestly. Like, once you find like a winning combination, there's no reason just to not keep doing that winning combination.
You have to be
like
careful because
Activision.
if you keep doing it over and over again, then critics will start to hate you. Kind of like Activision. You're right.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Activision.
But you'll
Yeah.
still sell like mad.
Kind of
Yep.
like Activision.
God damn. Yeah, you become Activision.
Here's
But,
how you break Game Tycoon. You be Activision.
So
Okay.
what I would do is I would keep on over and over. I would go to different topics, but I have like a three, like sci-fi RPG, medieval RPG, or what is it like? I think it's like action adventure military. And
Did you
those
did you
three,
start using a lot of the consoles, or did you just stick most of the PC development on your?
I do multi-console. I do the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC.
Like Activision.
Because
But-
I
but-
stuck
but-
mostly the PC in mine because getting the licenses was too expensive and for like the longest time for me.
I mean, I've got $540 million in a full-on staff.
Well, now I have no reason not to.
I'm like, man. Yeah, so that was super fun. Because I remember before I was like, man, I'm gonna go bankrupt, and I haven't gone bankrupt. I got close, but I was able to pull myself out, and now I'm like, I wiped my
think
ass with a
the
$100
coolest thing was being able to name your games like they were making. Like, I found a lot of joy in just like naming a game that I made.
I made a game that got an average rating of 2. And so the sequel, I named it. It was a simulator. It was a city simulator, and I called it City Sim 2: I'm so sorry. and it got like full 10s. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
You should have called it a Realm Reborn.
The first one was City Sim. This one is City Sim 2. I'm so sorry.
City Sim, a Realm Reborn.
Oh.
And then what else did I do? I painted the bathroom, and I painted a house for my grandfather. He has a home
we're in real life now. I'm
out to
sorry.
people. And this person is these people are very nice, and they had a dog, and the dog wouldn't leave me alone. It was a sheepdog, And I'm sitting here trying to paint, and it keeps dropping a frisbee at my feet, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I'd pick up the frisbee and throw it, and it would go chase it, and then I'm like, okay, quickly gotta paint before it comes back. But that was super fun. I made $40, and might save that up for Alien Isolation. That was pretty fun. We did a lot of remodeling and stuff. I painted, I got on the roof and cleaned up the gutters. I dug a huge ditch for some tubing, and moved cement. Stuff like that. And then the next morning, I was sore, but I figured, fuck it, and I got up and I did 50 push-ups. And then, yeah, because I was like, I don't care. I saw something on boot camp, and I was like, I'm gonna do that every single day. So every single day since then, it was like 4 days ago. Every single day since then, I've been getting up and doing 50 push-ups as soon as I wake up. And I'm also jealous because my brother is working out, and I'm like, no, I have to work out too now. So.
I'm too exhausted when we do that.
So my brother is working out. I don't know. I do push-ups, and when I wake up, and then I went to the comic store while they were at school, and I got Rocket Raccoon issue 4 and Nightcrawler issue 6. I was gonna get Death of Wolverine issue 1, but they don't have it, and also they need to get issues of The Wake that aren't at issue 6.
Can I just say something?
Pissing me off.
Whenever a comic book company actually goes through the trouble of printing death of character issues, you know that character is not going to stay dead.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's like Nightcrawler.
Especially Wolverine.
Especially Wolverine. He's their milk. He's their cash cow. He's not gonna die.
Plus, his power is not. Oh. Plus, not dying is one of his powers.
Although I will say this, if anything,
to be fair. He lost his regenerative powers. He's gonna get them back. Okay, I'm sorry, Sharky, you go on.
Actually, no, I'm gonna wait till my turn, so...
What they'll do is, comics, they'll have a line, and then sometimes they'll go, oh, what's this? And they'll go off the path, and then they go, just kidding. And like, something will happen, significantly changing everything, and then they'll just erase that line, and then go back to making a straight line. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like, and then suddenly this happened, but then this happened and put it back.
It's kind of the curse of serialized media. It's
like, well, shit. It's like Nightcrawler, and then Nightcrawler died saving somebody, and then he came back to life, and then Wolverine lost his powers and died, and he's probably gonna come back, and then Xavier died, and then he came back. It's like that's why I like comic series like by Snyder and stuff like that.
In Nightcrawler's case, it's apparently been established that he can just teleport from heaven right to Earth.
Yeah, he died, so and then went. I want to be with my friends, and he left. But that
basically makes him immortal.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But I got Rocket Wreck. Nightcrawler is a good series. Death of Wolverine. Haven't read it, but I want to. Especially considering that Nightcrawler, the issues of Nightcrawler, the next issue is Death of Wolverine. So apparently, it's like, oh shit, they're tying themselves in. Like it's tying in Death of Wolverine to the Nightcrawler issues. I'm like, now I have to read to kind of stay caught up because they're going to say something. Yeah, kind of. It's like in Nightcrawler, it's like issue 6 end, issue 7, Death of Wolverine. I'm like, oh, and of course there's the little 4-series miniseries of Death of Wolverine, so I have to read that to kind of figure out how he quote unquote dies and the events of that. So in Nightcrawler, when they're like, and then the motorcycle accident, and then this happened, like I won't be like, what? I'll be like, oh yeah, I totally saw that.
Or you do what some people do and they look it up on the internet, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. But it's got the comics. They have shiny covers.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying though.
Pretty shiny.
But the shiny.
Pretty shiny.
I know that reference.
Ooh, piece of candy. Piece of candy. But anyway, Rocket Raccoon issue 4. Rocket Raccoon issue 4 by Scotty Young. First off, Scotty Young's a fantastic artist. Secondly, I have the vintage or the I went and got the because I have 1, 3, and that was it of the variant covers, and then I went, you know what? And I traded in 2 and I got 4. I traded in 2, which was the standard edition cover, the direct edition cover, and I got the variant of that because they had it. So now I have Rocket Raccoon by Scotty Young, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the newest one, all variant editions. I'm like, I'm gonna make some bank off this. And issue 4, it finishes off the story that started in 1. So like part 1 is basically done, and it's setting up a new story that got really deep and really sad. Because it starts out, it's like, and then we're running around, blowing stuff up, making pop culture references. And then issue 4 is like Rocket Raccoon going through an existential crisis. And I'm like, God. Even the
Kind
end.
of like Deadpool.
Yeah, even the end, he's like, it's over. And then just starts weeping alone in his room. I'm like, Jesus.
Damn.
It's really sad. Like, and there's events that happen. I won't spoil, but there's events that happen throughout. Like he thinks he's gonna find his people, and he might be finding another raccoon who's like him, and just stuff like that happens, and it just gets sad in issue 4. Hello, me, I'm right here.
That was weird.
Yeah, you're good. I didn't hear anybody for a while, and I thought it might have dropped on my end.
What just happened? I pulled out my mic, and everybody went quiet. Why does my mic connect to Skype call?
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know, but whenever you did, we all like just lost each other for like a couple seconds.
Well, I was doing that because there's some weird background fuzz going on. I was like, maybe it's my microphone. And then everybody went, why the fuck is it connected to that? I should be able to hear you without a microphone on. It shouldn't cut you off from each other.
No, we all got cut off from each other for like
maybe
a
it's your
couple
mother.
seconds.
Your motherboard's doing some weird shit,
It's apparently
man.
taking over
And
Skype
then-
from everybody's angle.
And then like Garrett finished talking, and then he realized, and then somehow like magic happened. Like this was dark sorcery at work.
But how does that work? How does me unplugging my mic make it so you guys can't hear each other?
I just told you dark sorcery.
But
I need to get new motherboard.
so yeah, Rocket Raccoon issue 4, the stuff it goes into, I'm like, oh shit. He cries twice in that comic alone. I'm like, damn, all right. And then what else? I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up. I know it's been on me for a while.
I'm looking at motherboards.
I made we finished up our dungeon, or I finished up my dungeon game in game dev class, and then he said, "Okay, awesome, cool. Now brainstorm another one." And brainstormed, and I brainstormed with my partner. My partner did nothing. He had his thumb up his ass, and I was typing out ideas, and I'm like, I have an awesome idea, and I'm pretty happy with it. I came up with a name for the game, I came up with a character, I came up with a theme, I came up with game mechanics, I came up with a style, I came up with a bunch of stuff. He was playing with my hat. He flicked my hat off my head, and I'm like, it's like a switch man, which is from, that was a joke from Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, he switches his hat, and I went, what if my hat was literally a switch? And so I had an idea, a character in like a cyber world, and his hat, when it's facing forward, it's defensive mode, he gains a certain attribute, but when he flips it backwards, he loses a certain attribute. Someone's breathing into their microphone.
Yeah, that's coming in really strong. Like,
I just thought that Darth Vader showed up.
Yeah, right. But, but yes, like when he flips his hat backwards, it's a switch, and he goes into aggressive mode. He can use a certain power, but he starts losing a stamina bar, and he has to flip his switch back forward to regain it. And I was like, oh, so you can't just have your hat backwards and spam it. And I called it Cyber City Lockdown. The character's name is Redox, which was the name I was going to use for League because I thought it sounded professional. What's up?
nothing.
But I was really excited about that, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this game, and I came up with a bunch of ideas for it and just typed them out. And my friend's like, I'll start a bulletin. He didn't have anything. He had a bulletin, well, like he had bullets. He didn't have anything written next to them. He was just listening to me talk, and then I went, okay, that's my idea, and it was a full paragraph of like a pitch. Like it had everything. It had like the software I would need to make it. It had like the theme. It had the style it would be. I was like, it'll be a throwback to retro side scrollers like Mega Man and like just all this stuff. And then I went, what's yours? And he goes, I have an idea for a game where you're flicking pudding off a spoon.
I love how you very briefly
Brilliant.
referring a southern accent.
Yeah.
Just very briefly.
He actually kind of has one, but he goes, okay, so, and honestly, his idea, I was like, okay, it wasn't terrible. He had an idea where you hold up your phone, like you're taking a picture, and it actually uses the camera, and then you tap on the screen, and it like virtually throws pudding at things. So like you point your camera on your phone at a lamp, and you click the lamp, and it throws pudding off your phone, and it lands on the lamp. But then you put your phone down, and it's obviously just in your phone. I was like, it's kind of like a VR thing, but I don't know. I was like, I like my idea better. No offense. Also, I showed the idea to my teacher, and I was kind of the class pet for like 20 seconds. It was kind of awesome.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah, I was totally teacher's pet. I was like, all right, I'll take it. Yeah, I was teacher's pet for a second, and then also he was super happy. He made a reference to something, and I was a total douche. I raised my hand. He goes, yeah, and I was like, that was in chapter 6 of our book when he references this. He goes, you read the book, and I'm like, why did I raise my hand and confirm that it's in the book? Like to make it known. Yes, I read
pet.
that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
seriously.
god.
I'm like, that was chapter 6 in the book. I know what you're referencing. I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? God, am I that person?
Nerd.
I'm like, I'm a horrible human being. And then the last thing is the League patch. League of Legends recently had a patch where they nerfed Lucian, and they also gave a patch. They did a rework of Scion, which is pretty cool. Haven't touched League in a while. I haven't played Norms anyway, but I have been playing a little bit of intermediate bots. I'm a little nervous after the last 2 games where I was just absolutely atrocious. I wasn't bad, but like we lost, and I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous. So
I see.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was about it.
Brennan, have you gone?
I have not.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I have a admittedly shorter week. Spent a lot of my spare time playing more Persona 4 Ultimax. And I finally beat the episode Persona 3 story.
Oh shit.
And it's actually interesting because it's not like the same P4 story from their perspective. It's like, what if like they were the ones that did most of the action instead of the P4 cast? It's like more like a what if scenario, which was kind of interesting.
So it wasn't like something that probably would have been canon, but just
It's completely non-canon.
Hmm.
But what's interesting in that one is that instead of you being the one that gets to the end of the tournament and starts fighting Sho, trying to convince him to be a good person and bonds and friendship and anime, it's Labrys that does that in episode P3, which in the story makes a lot more sense. And I don't want to say why, because that's kind of like spoilers in a way.
Hmm.
And if you get the right dialogue options at the end of both episodes, you unlock the true ending to episode P4. Which is kind of silly, but whatever. Because it's only one choice, and it's the most obvious choice in the entire world.
It's like, how many fucking endings are there?
There's only one. There's the ending to both episodes, and there's the true ending.
It's like a fucking fighting game. Like, why are there choices?
Hey, remember how we were talking about how the visual novel style can grate last week?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I spent literally like 2 hours of just dialogue before getting into a fight on several occasions. was like, come on, like I want to interact at some point. Like I know this is weird coming from me, who's like the story guy, but like at some point, I bought a game. I want to do something.
Yep. It's why I just can't be bothered to sit through the story modes on those. I just can't.
But now that I've beaten the story, I've been playing a lot like online with and now that Margaret's been out, I've been playing with her a lot, and she's pretty interesting in her own way.
Yeah, I bought her. I haven't messed with her yet though.
The thing with her is that, like I said in before, like the more you rely on your persona, the more cards you get. She has 8 persona cards.
Jesus.
She is really reliant on her personas because she has 3 of them.
Jeez.
She uses Kuchulain, Yoshizune, and Arda all at the same time. And in the character select, her persona is called Margaret Selection. Because she has 3 instead of just 1.
That makes sense.
And her gimmick is that like she has really impressive like speed and range in her attacks. They do decent damage. But if you whiff with them, you whiff hard. She has a lot of like downtime between her attacks. So if you miss, there is a good chance you're going to eat a combo in the face.
Delicious combo.
Pretty high risk reward, basically.
Pretty much. But like I said, her attacks execute quickly, so you can also use them as good counter moves. So it's interesting little, like, you can get good counter moves, but at the same time, you are left wide open if you fail. So aside from that, I've been watching a couple of Let's Plays. Like, I watched a Let's Play this week of Heavy Rain. And that's why I wanted to wait until now to talk about that game, because
It's a good game.
but watching it again...
It's a good game.
No, it's not.
I think
You're
it's
getting
okay.
the same experience watching it.
I am,
Arguably a
but...
better one.
But as I watched it, I realized something I didn't realize before. Not entirely sure why I didn't realize up until now, but the voice acting in that game is absolutely horrible.
No, you voice acting shit.
Well, I mean,
voice
why do you
acting
think the
shit.
Sean joke was big? Not because he's saying Sean, it's because how he says it. And how every child is fucking French-Canadian, even though they're supposed to be American.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it was
that
the
scene
whole
was the
thing
best,
of
yeah.
you just have these European actors that can't do like a proper American accent.
Yeah, especially when they're all French.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Detective Norman Jaden, FBI.
Was it was the thing you watched a no commentary, or did you watch like Two Best Friends or something? Play
It was a commentary Let's Play from a guy named Teal Game Master.
Okay.
Well, there's actually a really good one by the guys at Video Games Awesome.
Oh yeah.
They do. Yeah, they did a really good one. And then they played Silent Hill 2 and riffed the hell out of it, and it pissed me and everyone else the fuck off because we love that game. And they're like he's like, I bet this monster's like representative or something. It's like, yes, it is. It's metaphorical. Shut the fuck up, you asshole. It's symbolic. Read a book.
But yeah,
It's a
like
metaphor.
Heavy Rain, like I didn't realize just how terrible that voice acting was until now, and not even like the localization, because no one in America has ever used the word wasteland. No one.
Jason.
What? Yeah, we have. Wasteland.
No one in America has ever used the word wasteland.
Hey,
Because-
it's an American wasteland out there.
No, because you know that
Teenage Wasteland.
Yeah.
because they constantly refer to kids as being left to die in the wasteland. And like, you're in Philadelphia, there is no wasteland.
It's just called the ghetto.
Yeah,
I don't know if Philadelphia has a ghetto.
we just call it the side of the road.
That's Chicago.
We just call it Detroit when we talk about being left out of nowhere.
I said Chicago.
Thank you, Watch Dogs. Was that Seattle? I don't remember anymore. I forgot everything. about
Watch Dogs. No, Watch Dogs was Chicago.
Okay.
And when you watch like Ethan have his flashbacks, you realize just how badly they make absolutely zero sense.
Yeah, I remember hearing about some of the story shit that got cut because of just some of the stupid bullshit that.
Absolutely true. This is a true story. Originally, his flashbacks were because he was going to have a psychic link to the killer, but they
Right.
dropped that because they felt it was adding unnecessary supernatural elements into the story.
I remember hearing
Yep.
about that.
In what?
In Heavy Rain.
In
Like,
Heavy Rain?
originally during the blackouts, Ethan was supposed to have a psychic link to Scott Shelby, who's the killer.
Oh, so they were gonna go
Spoilers.
totally Indigo Prophecy. One big thing about that though is they actually almost did that to a sequel to 7.
To what?
You've never seen the movie 7?
Probably. I don't know.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Wait, I thought that was
That's
the
7.
box. With,
No.
Sandra Bullock?
No,
Oh.
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, 7. They're going after a killer,
Nope. Nothing.
and the killer, like, he cuts off he's killing people based off the 7 deadly sins. It's amazing.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ending is fantastic and like holy shit. But yeah, they were gonna make a sequel to that movie, and Morgan Freeman was gonna be like psychic or some shit. And thank
course.
God that.
I mean,
Thank
he's
God
already
that was-
psychic, so it'd be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't gonna be made.
It would just be Morgan Freeman's autobiography.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't made. Also,
And
I'm drinking, and my brother walked in with a nerd's rope, and he goes, "This is for you." And I'm like, "Thank you."
That's your Garrett update right there.
Fuck yeah.
and since I finished watching the Two Best Friends play The Walking Dead season 2, like last week, I decided this week I was gonna watch Two Best Friends play The Walking Dead season 1 to remind myself just how much you should hate Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny's kind of the worst piece of shit.
Kenny is a complete piece of shit. Larry is at first, but then once Larry dies, Kenny becomes a piece of shit.
This is like a
he
scale
does.
of, like, who's the worst
holy
piece of
shit.
He inherits Larry's shit powers.
Like,
Still
there
better
are
than
times
Jane.
I like to
I
think
feel-
that when he killed Larry, there's just like this invisible aura that just sucks into Kenny. Because he becomes an asshole like the second that Larry dies. Like the very moment that it happens.
Larry inherits, Kenny inherits Larry's assholiness, and Ben inherits Larry's inability to make any right decisions.
Yeah, basically.
One memorable characters. Game of the year.
Like, pretty
Kenny-
much everything that Ben did hurt the group in some capacity.
Yeah.
Kenny is still better than Jane.
Even when Ben died, it hurts the group.
I still remember, like, one of my favorite scenes in that whole game was when, because Kenny had just given Ben complete utter shit, almost rightfully so, but then Ben just blows up on him, and
Fuck you,
Kenny just
Kenny.
yeah,
Fuck you, man.
and Kenny kind of shuts up. You know, I was like, good on him. But
Like, I mean, admittedly, Kenny deserved that.
Kenny's kind of
Yes.
a piece of shit.
he totally
Kenny
deserved that
totally
because
deserved that.
I did feel more sympathy for Ben afterwards, simply because yeah, he fucked up, but the thing is, he's a teenage kid. That happens, and considering the situations they were put through, yeah, he's gonna fuck up and he's gonna make stupid mistakes.
I
And I
just
remember-
the point when Ben's like, "I've got to tell Kenny that I betrayed the group in episode 3," and I was like, "No, you do not. You absolutely do not need to do that. At least not right now."
Yeah.
Kenny's gonna have
Like,
a real
he's
moment.
picking the worst possible time to say that.
Right after he takes the hatchet out of the door that was keeping the walkers out
Yep.
of the school.
You think he saw that and he was like, "This is a really good time to have this discussion."
Like, I know,
Just hatchet in
like,
hand.
I know, like, he's a teenager and he's bound to make some mistakes, but Ben makes nothing but mistakes.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, he
Probably the
is
best
like,
character.
he like I said, he takes Larry's ability to be a world class fuck up.
Essentially, yeah. I still, yeah. I'm not.
And I'll say Larry is the worst part of that season. Larry is the most annoying motherfucker I've ever met in a video game.
And they do try to redeem him, but even then, I was like, I just know. Like, I don't care how bad the situation is. I don't
In
care how
the
you feel about
very
your daughter.
moment,
Well,
in the very moment he's nice to the fucking cannibals.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget when you try to give him food and he's still telling you to piss off, and then you get him like the axe, I think, and he tells you to piss off.
Now he has an axe, and he's not hungry, and he wants you to die. What a great situation.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, Larry. Can you, like, not be a
I think-
fuck up and an asshole? Like, can you just choose to be one or the other?
I
Like,
think he's secretly racist.
Even at the same time, I ended up trying to save him in my playthrough because, like, even though he's an asshole, no asshole deserves to get a salt lick thrown in their face.
No, and their head completely smashed. This,
I legitimately feel bad for Lily for like that one scene, but
Yep.
Lily's otherwise a bit of a bitch.
yep.
See,
I mean, you kind of killed her father, though.
I said
with a salt block.
Well, I didn't. Kenny did.
Oh, you did the one where you just told Kenny to do it? Actually, I did that
I-
too, right? Because that's why he's so pissed, is that you don't help him.
I didn't do it. I tried to save Larry, and then as I'm saving him, there's a salt lick that's in his face all of a sudden. Like, where did that come from? Fuck you, Kenny.
Oh, you wait, I hate you, Kenny. Please die.
Fuck you, Kenny. Die like the one in South Park, please.
Walking Dead, Game of the Year. Just remember that. Remember how many Game of the
And
Year
that's
awards that
why
game
in
got.
season 2, when I got the chance, I shot him.
No, great. I didn't play season-
And hopefully you left Jane behind.
I haven't played season 2, but this is all great.
Speaking of The Walking Dead, who's ready for tomorrow?
Why,
What's
tomorrow?
happening
Why?
tomorrow?
Season 5 starts. Or-
I don't
yeah.
care.
I'm still waiting for season 3. When did
we're on
Telltale
season
make
3. What
season
the
3 and
fuck?
4?
I'm confused.
As far as I'm
Well,
aware,
season 3 and 4 on.
as far as I'm aware, there's only been 2 seasons of The Walking
I mean,
Dead.
there's 2 seasons of that. There's 1 season
He's
of Wolf
talking
Among
about
Us.
the television show.
Yeah.
What television show?
What's a television? Is that the thing that I buy to play PlayStation
See, as
games on?
far as I'm aware, the only Walking Dead media is the video games.
As far as I'm concerned, television.
You are not wrong in that. I will say this. I'll put it this way. I watched season 3 of The Walking Dead, and then after they asked
How?
me to
It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's-
Okay, Brandon, I'm just gonna
Presumably
say
works
this.
for Telltale.
I get your joke, but I'm seriously trying to talk about the TV show which does exist. I get it, but for the duration of my explanation, please stop being an ass. Just
Okay. Just
stop.
for you. Just for
Stop.
I thought we talked about video games here.
But yeah, season 3 of The Walking Dead, like I watched that just so I would know what the hell my friend is talking about. And then after they expected me to continue watching without Michael Rooker, I said nope, and didn't bother to watch it afterwards. So
you. Okay, real talk. Who's Michael Rooker's character?
he
Shit, I know this.
played
Is he Daryl?
no, Merle.
Merle.
no,
Yeah,
Daryl's
Oh,
brother.
he's Merlin Durrell.
yeah.
Which
no,
one's
He is
Daryl?
Merle and Daryl.
Is Merle the bald one and Daryl's the one with the short black hair?
Yeah.
Daryl's the one with the short black
Yes.
hair
Okay.
who's going to be in Silent Hills.
Right.
Okay, if you've seen
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Michael Rooker was also the blue guy Yondu.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the guy who
He-
doesn't
he
have
was
the
the-
Force.
You know,
He
it's
did-
kind
he
of
did
ironic
great.
that this time he was the arrow expert.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I
With
crushed
his
my
sick
foot
ass
with the
whistle
chair.
arrow that he has, like
Yeah,
But
with his
like-
red metal mohawk.
Like, if,
Sure.
if no joke, I just can't get into the TV show. I just don't like those characters.
that's
I
fine.
watched the first
Yeah.
episode, and I thought if the next episode was all these people dying, I wouldn't care. And in fact, I'd feel happy.
You know what? You are not wrong to think that, and there is a great amount of evidence to support that. Because, okay, so a lot of people will admit, to those who watch The Walking Dead, that Daryl is one of the best characters on the show. Now,
He's
he
the-
did not
he's-
appear.
And he is not even in the comic book.
No,
he's
he is
one of-
not. He was.
He's one of the more likable characters. I like Michonne.
Daryl was specifically written for the TV series because the writers that had to come up with the show looked at the comics and said the writing in this is not great. This isn't going to work. And it
They
wasn't
looked
one
at
of
the
those
comics
things.
and said it was bad.
It was one of those things like it wasn't like when you
It
look
would
at comic
translate
books.
to a movie, a show.
Well,
Yeah.
no. It wasn't that especially. It wasn't the case of like they looked at a superhero thing and said this isn't going to work because it's going to cost too many special effects to do this. They looked at The Walking Dead and said this doesn't really
You have
work.
too many
because it's
assholes in this
poorly
comic
written.
book.
Yeah, they said it wouldn't work
Well-
because it's poorly written. Let's put this character in here to kind of hold this together better. And
Well,
it
I
worked
Think about
well.
that. A TV show writer that said the comic book was poorly written. Just thinking about that for a second.
No, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
I believe that Daryl's supposed to be killed off in season 1 and then in season 3, but the fans keep saying they'll riot, and we know they won't. They'll be complaining about it on Twitter for like 3 weeks, and then they'll stop and continue
I
watching
mean,
it.
they did the exact same thing with Lafayette from True Blood. Because in the books,
Yeah.
Dead Until Dawn, Lafayette died at the very beginning of the second book. Like, the second page, he was dead. But because he was such a great character in the TV show, and people liked him so much, even though he wasn't nearly as charismatic in the books, but in the TV show, he's such a great character that they kept getting more screen time.
Well,
I
it
think-
kind of reminds.
Going
it
back
kinda
to
reminds me-
Walking Dead comics real quick, I think it's funny that like the worst characters in the game, Lily and Larry, are only there to tie into the comics.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because Lily's a character from the comic book, and Larry could go fuck off for all I care.
Wasn't the Asian dude, he's from the TV show, isn't he? Or
Yeah,
He's from both.
He's from both. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Glenn.
Glenn,
Because
yeah.
the TV show is based on the comic book, so most of the characters on the TV show are from the comics, with the exception of a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
the
the
main
game's
character's
not-
the comic book character.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
there's that.
But yeah, I just find it funny that like
But yeah,
all the ties they do to the comic books make the game so much worse.
Just
And the
everything
game
that ties
is
together,
better-
the worst
And the
thing
game
ever.
is better when it's using its own characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, Robert Kirkman, I'm sure he's smart and everything, but sometimes some of his stories just don't hold up. It's just
Yeah. Well, he even admits, and I'm not gonna dump out like huge spoilers, but if he keeps screwing around with Rick, he's eventually gonna have to kill him because of all the events that's happened to him in the comics.
Okay.
Because
I'm ready.
oh.
Alright then.
Like I said, I watched one episode of the TV show and I thought, if every single character on this episode in this show dies in the next episode, I wouldn't care, and in fact, I'd be happy.
I would be ecstatic even. Oh, Brandon.
It's sad, but it's true.
Oh, Brandon. Anything else?
Aside from like just the usual college work, archery practice, not much has been going on.
Okay. Is that
So, yeah, that's it.
it? Okay, podcast over.
Going to the next person.
Nope, no more people. We're out.
damn.
Sorry, Chris.
Oh, damn it, I thought we did Chris, and I was trying to make a
You
joke
got
about me.
out.
No.
How long have we been going?
I'm still here, fucker.
Oh my god. I'm
It's
gonna be
because
here all
I
night.
took like an
Jeez,
hour and a half.
We still have two people to go in our like, half-hour ending conversation.
Way to jump.
Well, to
Way
be
to jump
fair,
the chart,
we started
guys.
we started when 20 minutes were already on the clock.
Yeah, but it's still almost 2 hours long.
It's my
And
fault.
we have two people left.
I took like 3 hours to.
No,
explain
I
what
blame
did
the
every week.
host
What's
for not reeling
What?
this discussion in.
Since what the fuck have I ever real discussion in?
That's your job as the host.
I just pick up
Yeah.
my manga and I just say, fuck it, you guys go on. I'll just sit here for a while.
Your
I have
job
read
is-
half of this manga already.
You are the best host.
It's a great podcast when the host doesn't give a shit
I'm
to
on
pay
chapter
attention.
4. Okay, chapter 4, page.
And to-
What page
I
am
want to
on?
make this clear. Ash
105.
did not have the host. He volunteered.
It's true. I'm on page 105.
Oh, by the way, did you hear that Naruto's finally coming to an end?
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so
but
happy because then I can
I-
finally read it.
I've been reading it, and it's getting ridiculous how fast they're going through with it, so they can finish it up and do the final movie and be done with it.
Yeah.
I just want it to end so I can read it. Like, I can't. I tried catching up with Bleach and it's just a fucking nightmare.
Bleach sucks.
I wanted
Speaking-
Bleach to be cool, but man, after Aizen, everything just went bad.
Well, you know, I think
The only time I have ever given a shit about Bleach was when I played the first DS fighting game that they had, which I thought was really good because it was like this was a spiritual successor to like Samurai Showdown, and for like a week when I was playing it, it kind of made me hype enough to where I wanted to say like, "This is my Bankai!" Like this, playing it like. I
Like I
couldn't tell
said.
you what a Bankai is, but
It's
I
one
said
of
it.
7 different fucking special moves they have.
okay, please don't explain it.
Okay,
I don't
so
want to
the
know.
thing is, I want to explain just one
Damn
thing
it.
about how bullshit it is. Ichigo is not only the chosen one, he is everybody's chosen one. He has
Of course.
the power of
Oh,
the
yeah,
fucking Reapers. He has the ability to do a Bankai, which is already pretty special. He has the power of the Hollows, because he can go half hollow. He's also a Quincy, which is a special form of Spirit Reaper ally/enemy that are archers. He also has Executioner powers, which are different from Reaper powers,
He
mind
had
you.
Fullbringer.
He has a
He had
Fullbringer.
Fullbring.
Yeah, like, the thing
You
that
know,
pisses
I'm-
me
I'm
off is that they can't just have a character as different powers, because Ichigo has to have everyone's powers. He has to be the god character. There is not a single
Are
thing
you
that somebody
accusing
can
an
do that you
anime
can't
of
do.
having a Mary Sue character?
It pisses me off so much, because he has to be able to do everything, and it's like, what makes the other characters unique then if he could do everything?
Why do you
bother?
think I stopped watching fucking Naruto?
I guarantee they're gonna have a point where it's like, oh, he has the fairy powers of Orihime too, because why the fuck not?
You know, at least Sasuke doesn't have Sage Mode, Rasengan, everything.
Yeah, everybody has to have their own fucking thing, but no, Ichigo has everything.
I legitimately have no idea why people like Sasuke so much. He's a dick.
That's why they like him.
He's an emo douche fucker. I don't know why people love him so much. He's just
That's why people like him. That's the thing.
You know, Sam,
People like.
when I used to read Bleach, I think the time I ultimately rage quit and said I'm done and haven't looked back since was during the Fullbring arc when Kubo was slashed by Tsukishima, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm actually the real villain now," and it's like, "I'm done. Fuck it."
I
Just
can
fuck
tell you
this.
the exact chapter I quit. It was like 455, and it was the exact chapter where Ichigo had a full bring, new outfit, new powers, new armor set, and I was like, that's cool, you know, bring something fresh in. And then
And he
the
doesn't have
exact
it
moment
anymore.
that he got his Spirit Reaper powers back, I said, fuck it! We made no advances whatsoever! He is back to square one! He had an entire new moveset, an entire new weapon. They said, fuck it! Just give him the sword back. He had a fucking, like, swastika blade thing that he could throw at people, and he had, like, skeleton armor. He was like, nah, fuck it, just, I don't know.
I love how animated you just got for like a couple
Oh my
seconds. over
god,
Bleach.
Bleach pisses me off.
I remember when I said this is to kind of segue. Like, I can't help listening to you rage about manga. I can't help but be
Go back to read
reminded.
Toradora.
God,
Well, chapter 4.
I can't help but be reminded when I rage quit reading Spawn, which was something that was really big back in the '90s, and I was really into it mostly around the time when that god awful movie came out. But I was too stupid. I was too stupid to know the movie sucked. I just ate it up because I was like, yeah, CGI, even though I didn't know what bad CGI was. I just ate it up and thought it was cool, but whatever. And there's no way I could watch that movie now without laughing. But yeah, but I was reading Spawn comics and I was getting into it and everything. And just at one point, I don't know, I don't remember what it was that happened in the story. I don't think it was anything that made me rage quit. It was just something like, it fell off my radar and I lost interest and I was like, oh, there's this cool Iron Man cartoon, I'll watch that. But then somewhere down the line, like, I just started reading it because I guess Spawn has been rebooted since then, I don't know. But somewhere down the line, I looked up, like, what all has gone on in Spawn comics over the years. And I guess it just got to a point where, of course, they needed to reboot it because they went as far as they could possibly go with Spawn as a character, to where it was like, he defeated the Malbolgia, which was in charge of Hell, but then there was like, now that he's done, Satan shows up, and then God shows up, and it turns out, like, God is just an incredible ass in this world, and
That sounds
so
about
is
right.
Satan. Like, Satan and God are just these two immature kids that have been having sibling rivalry with each other.
Yeah.
And, like, Spawn, and, like, at the end of it all, like, it just got to this point where it was just slowly dragging up to the point where Spawn has a fight with God and Satan, kicks the crap out of both of them, and then their mom, who was only referred to as the mother of all creation, shows up and says, yeah, God and Satan were kind of stupid,
Wait,
immature
God
brat.
has a mother?
In the Spawn
Yes.
universe, apparently he does. And again, this is just whatever bullcrap Greg Capullo or Todd McFarlane or whoever the hell is writing this came up with. I want to assume Greg Capullo left because I actually like him, but whatever. But yeah, so Spawn beat the crap out of Satan and God, and then their mom, who is known as the mother of all creation, shows up, and she's like, yeah, they were total immature brats. You know what, Spawn? I'm going to give you all the power I have, which is basically all the power in the universe. And Spawn's like, yeah, I'm going to use it to kick both of them out of the universe. Like, God and Satan got banished out of the universe into this whatever little purgatory, and they're, for eternity, they just have to put up with each other.
Wait,
and
what
Spawn
is
then
the-
remakes...
Welcome to Spawn.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Basically, didn't Spawn merge heaven, hell, and earth together and rule all over all
basically-
creation?
Like I said, he kicked God and Satan out of the universe and then remade it in his image. I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I was right
his
to stop.
character is an asshole.
Yeah, but I was basically just into the thing. Well, that was the thing. Like, everybody is a jerk off. Everybody. Like, Spawn, like, God and Satan were basically...
the 90s?
I want to say by this point it was probably early 2000s, but still, I was like, I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I stopped reading this because holy crap. Like, and I thought
just
Marvel and
tried to
DC did some
explain-
shit.
Just like how when I try to explain this Devil Saga 2 story, it's completely silly.
Basically,
A group of programs from an army simulation comes out of the world and starts talking to God.
yep. Because why not?
Why not?
But to kind of bring rope this in a little bit,
Anime.
some of the
tell you
some of
about
the other
anime.
stuff that something that's also I thought was kind of funny to kind of go on what Garrett was mentioning earlier about the death of Wolverine. When a comic book company actually cares to put out a death of series for their characters, you know they're not truly going to be dead. It's just something that they do to drum up sales. A comic book character truly dies when their issues are just fucking straight up canceled. That's when they don't bother to do that. That's when a comic character really dies. When their series doesn't get renewed anymore. And
yeah, you remember the? Oh, I'm sorry.
like I was saying, like, you know, I can tell you that the character Etrigan from DC Comics is probably dead. Why? Because Demon Knights got fucking canned, and we haven't heard or seen anything from them. But something that I thought was kind of funny, and this was a news story I read not long ago, was... So I know I've talked about that whole Fantastic Four movie that Fox is supposedly putting out for next year, which we've seen not hide nor hair of, despite the fact, like, they have finished filming, yet we don't get a teaser, trailer, poster, nothing. And
I've noticed that too.
And now, not Fox, but Marvel and Fox have been down each other's necks for a while, and Marvel is going so far as to cancel Fantastic Four as a comic series.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like there were rumors flying around about this, and a lot of people kind of speculating the idea that the current president at Marvel is just kind of has a chip on his shoulder and is doing it just to spite Fox. because
Great.
I mean, it's also one of the reasons why, like at Marvel right now, there's this whole mandate of do not make any more mutant characters because Fox will automatically have the rights to them because of the backwards ass deals that they've had. If Marvel makes any more mutant characters, Fox gets the rights to it. It's really bullshit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like movie industry deals and bullshit like that are weird. It's like Sony kind of has their arm twisted behind their back now because Disney still has like television and merchandise rights for Spider-Man, whereas Sony only has movie rights, which probably are not going to work out for them in the long term.
That Sony's even trying to sell. That Sony and Marvel are in negotiations and trying to get Spider-Man back to Marvel.
Yeah, there's
did you see that, Chris? That they're also thinking of once again rebooting Spider-Man and starting him off with the Sinister Six, and then doing another spin-off called Villains.
It's just really dumb, and it's just proof that Sony has no idea what they're doing. And really, Spider-Man as a movie franchise just needs to be shelved for a while. And even if Marvel wanted to bring him into the Avengers, it's just something that they're going to have to sit on for a while, shelve it, give it some breathing time so that people aren't fatigued.
So that people
by
don't remember the old.
It's like, oh, we rebooted it again. Who cares? You know, nobody wants like another fucking origin story. But and you know, and I kind of wonder if that's why Marvel was totally okay with Dan Slott saying, "I'm going to make Dr. Octopus Spider-Man." Sure, why not? Go for it.
Dr. Octopus, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, go for it. You're gonna change it in a week anyway.
Well, like I said, I still give them
How long
props.
did it take? Like a month?
No, Superior Spider-Man ran for like at least a year and a half.
Nice, not bad.
Yeah, it's like I said, I gave them props, and I thought it was hilarious that they were doing this in Marvel Comics, despite the fact that Sony has, you know, Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like, yeah, but Peter Parker's not Spider-Man right now. Although that has reverted back. Like Peter Parker is once again
He got control of his body back.
Yeah.
It's a very
Doctor
strange
Octopus.
time.
He's ostensibly dead right now, but we don't know if he'll
For
get brought
now,
back.
for the
for
short
now.
term.
Yeah.
We don't know how he's gonna get brought
You
back.
know how comic books work.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
But as I was saying, like I said, when a character in comics is truly dead, it's just they disappear off the face of the books without any explanation, final issue, or anything. They're just fucking done because their series got canned. But yeah, that was just the big thing. Was like Fantastic Four is getting canceled, and that Fox. It's like I wonder what they're going to do. And granted, it's not to say that comic book sales influence movies at all, or vice versa, because there are movies that come out and then comic book sales see nilch. But I just think it's funny how Marvel, they don't give a shit to market X-Men, they don't give a shit to market Fantastic Four because of the situation they're in. They'll still market Spider-Man because of the various rights that they still have. And of course, anything that has to do with Avengers, market fuck the shit out of it. Just get it out there. As far as my own week, though, I've really only had time to play Mario Kart. And something I remembered that I wanted to mention last week was, I'm pretty sure all of us have seen Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Oh, I love it.
I have.
Yeah,
Wreck-It.
yeah,
Wreck-It.
and how the whole Sugar Rush game world that most of the movie takes place in Mario Kart. Because I'm bad with names, I forget the name of the track. But there is in Mario Kart 8, there is
Rainbow
a
Road.
no, but it's a new track that they made in Mario Kart 8.
Rainbow Road. Sorry.
Garrett, you and Brandon are just going to be up there in the fucking peanut gallery of just oh god. But so there's a new track in Mario Kart. There's a new track in Mario Kart 8. And it is basically, I swear to God, it just seems like they ripped off fucking Sugar Rush. Because all it is, it's like you're driving through a cake, and here's a candy mountain. And the crowd, like there, you know, in some of the tracks, there will be like crowd and stands and everything. And it totally looks like, you know, here's fucking animal crackers in the stands and bullshit. I'm like, this just seems like Nintendo decided to rip off Wreck-It Ralph the movie. I mean, or reference it or whatever with this entire track, that it's just this fucking Candyland of a track. Because I can't think of any Mario games that had any worlds like that, unless there was something in Galaxy I missed.
I'm gonna steal it.
I don't know. Either they were paying homage or doing whatever. I just thought it was kind of funny that there is this fucking Candyland-ass track in a Mario Kart game. Because I was like, I wonder if they're doing this because of Wreck-It Ralph. Like, I wonder if that had some influence there. But who knows? And also, probably one of just this weird, almost little moment of disgust I had was because in Mario Kart 8, I don't know if they did this in the 3DS game 7, but one of the big things, well, actually no, I don't think they did. But in Mario Kart 8, you know, there are tracks that fucking just go upside down and just straight up like vertically upwards and all kinds of crazy shit like that, which is really cool. But the thing that kind of disgusted me a little bit was Shigeru Miyamoto was sitting around saying he doesn't want to make any more F-Zero. He doesn't know what to do with F-Zero.
He should make a racing game with it.
he makes Mario Kart practically rip off F-Zero, and I'm like, so wait, does this mean we're not going to get any F-Zero games because they're just going to make Mario Kart into F-Zero? What? And it sucks even worse, the fact that they have DLC, which the Blue Falcon is going to be a drivable kart, and one of the tracks from F-Zero is straight up going to be in Mario Kart 8. I'm like, just quit putting salt in my wound, Nintendo. Come on, give me another F-Zero game, damn it. Like, I wanted a new one so bad, like one that I could race people online with, but I never fucking got it. Fucking scumbags. But I still love Mario Kart 8 though, and I've cleared both the 50cc and 100cc tracks or Grand Prix. So now I'm starting the 150cc, which is where many people will tell you that's when the game really starts. 50 and 100cc is just your fucking practice run. 150cc is when the game gets fucking real. So starting on that, and some of the character roster is kind of cool because they've got the 7 Koopa kids that showed up from Super Mario World and Mario Bros. 3, which are, a lot of people bitched about them, that they're just taking up space on the roster that could be used for other characters. But I'm like, come on, seriously, who are you going to put in there? Fucking Waluigi?
Yeah, buddy.
That
Yeah,
anybody,
Waluigi.
you know, the guy who's there to fill in the roster for a fucking Mario sports game when they can't think of anybody else.
Oh, Waluigi's the best character. That's what Dan Reichert says.
Something that's kind of funny, the last thing I'll mention is that there is a Metal Mario, which is something we haven't seen since Mario 64, but whatever. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? But there's also like a Metal Peach. They don't call her Metal Peach though. She is, I swear to God, they call her Pink Gold Peach. Because she's not like a silver metal color, she is like a pink gold metallic color. And I'm like, this just seems so dumb. Like, it's like you're throwing in too many fucking, I don't know, verbs or whatever just for one character's name. Pink Gold Peach. Like, it just doesn't sound right when you say it in a sentence.
That's different colors.
Yes.
See,
Pink
it's
Gold
a-
Peach.
It's a pink and gold.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not even seeing gold. I'm just seeing, like, metallic pink that's just not as bright. I don't know. Whatever. I'm still playing the shit out of that game, though, because Mario Kart makes me its bitch. But that's been my week.
John
What was
Romero
that?
makes you his bitch.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
Was it a ghost?
No.
Are we being
Those
paranormal
aren't real.
activity right now?
Yeah, probably.
So we're gonna be moving a camera around on a fan.
It's exactly what I plan to do.
We're gonna use the Kinect to see ghosts.
It's the best use of the Kinect I've ever seen.
God. That is
Yes, I know, it's super
that is
bullshit.
the biggest marketing scheme I've ever seen.
I know, it's so dumb.
Sponsors.
Hey, turn on the night vision. You can see all the dots from the Kinect.
That is called corporate sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that is.
Despite the fact that Kinect can barely tell where someone is.
Yep.
Isn't the next one better? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I also heard that doctors use it in
The
third world
mark
countries.
ones. The mark
not
ones.
third
There
was
are a
nonsense
lot
and the-
of there are a lot of good uses for the Kinect that are not related to gaming whatsoever.
Yeah, basically.
Obama's gonna peek through your Kinect and watch you doing inappropriate acts.
Well, I'm almost done with this chapter, but you know.
Obama.
It's your turn,
collecting-
actually. You're
My
pissing,
turn is
Obama's
going to
collecting-
consist of me silently reading and chuckling at pictures.
so you're pissing away your own time.
Hey, I get the
See,
recording.
Obama's
You guys
using
can
the
all leave, and I
Kinect.
can still be recording this alone. I can just go out for an extra hour by myself. Oh,
You should
how
actually
sad.
just
Oh,
do
and I
that.
thought I had a big ego.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh God,
And-
popping.
And then he died.
Yep. Okay.
And no one ate dinner that night.
All right. I think I'll start off by saying that the manga I've been reading is Toradora, which is a love series. And I watched the anime like years ago in high school, and it's kind of sad, and it's really nice. It's cute. I don't know. Reading the manga now.
Okay, so give us like a brief synopsis, like
Spin us a yarn.
Let me tell you about anime, Achark. I guess the basic synopsis is that there's this guy named Ryuji who comes from a Japanese mother and an American father, and everybody thinks he's like fucking gonna kill someone because he has American eyes, which they basically just draw as like regular eyes instead of like anime big eyes. It's 'cause of
oh
his
god, oh god, no, that just sounds creepy.
You just go look up a picture; it's not that bad. That visual image all of a sudden. That's another Photoshop project I need to do. But the other thing is that it's him, and then he basically meets up with a girl named Isaka Taiga, and she's called the Pom Pop Tiger because she's like, I think they literally say she's like 4'2" or something like that. Like she's super short, really angry at everybody, and they happen to meet up because she puts a love letter in his bag by accident, and they're basically both in love with two of their friends. So, you know, not giving away the spoilers or anything.
Awkward teenage years, go!
Yeah. So they're basically trying to set each other up with their friends. And it's just the shit that goes on. I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you watch the anime, it gets fucking depressing later on. Like,
it's like Welcome to the NHK depressing?
Like Clannad depressing, have you ever seen that?
No.
Clannad,
Okay.
Anahimita, Myself Yourself,
I'm looking at like some of the images for some of these characters. Like Ryuji doesn't look as horrifying as I thought.
The way I said that, I was like, that sounds terrifying.
Like it does, but I just look.
No,
like,
he just
I
has
looked
like
it up.
basic eyes.
Yeah, I mean, like his eyes look like they are half the size of everybody else's.
Yeah, his eyes are just like slants that have like little black pupils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not too
Did you say
bad.
black peoples or black pupils?
Pupils, you fucking racist jackass.
That was funny.
But yes, and then Taiga is the blonde one who's really short. So, I don't know, it's cute. Like, I just remember watching the anime and I like cried at the end, so that's how I know it's cute.
Aw.
I so badly want to spoil like the last moment because it is the fucking most adorable thing I've ever seen. And it killed me on the inside.
Toads adorbs.
It was so adorable. Now I just need to make all you guys watch it so I can spoil it. Because I know you guys
No.
are very excited to see this show.
I am as excited as I was to play a David Cage game.
So very excited because you went and bought Beyond Two Souls at full price.
I bought it knowing it was going to be bad.
Well,
You
this
of all people should understand that feeling.
Yeah.
You of all people.
That reminds me that one of the things I bought when I went to Austin this past week is I bought a copy of Troll and Troll 2 double feature.
Oh
Troll
shit.
2.
As far as other stuff I got, I also got, for my birthday, I got a copy of Bela Lugosi's Dracula, and,
Ooh.
Bela Lugosi's dead. I love that song.
yes. And, the Boris Karloff Frankenstein film, both Universal films.
Nice.
And also, when I got Troll 2, I forgot, I also got Christopher Lee's Dracula and his Vampiric Brides, which is one of the many, many Hammer Dracula films. So that was cool.
Yeah, they have a lot.
When I did go to Texas, I went to go see Austin City Limits, so I only saw 3 people, technically. I saw Foster the People, but I wasn't paying any attention, so my sister wanted to go. But first night, I saw Outkast, which is a hip-hop group from Atlanta, local guys. Really cool. They're pushing like 30-something, but they're the people who did Miss Jackson. You know, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but I am for real. And they also did the song that goes, hey, ya. Like, that's them. Andre 3000. Cool guys. And the second night, I saw Lana Del Rey. She was on the Great Gatsby soundtrack. Probably never heard of her. And third night, I saw Pearl Jam. Man, you guys are so excited.
Ooh.
Why do I even bother?
Music.
I wonder how old.
You've
I
probably
wonder
never
how
even heard
old
of
Eddie
them, you-
Vedder's getting these days. That's
They're like
fucking
50-something, all of them.
You fucking hipster. You probably never even heard of them.
I've heard of Pearl Jam, thank you very much. I'm very familiar with Pearl Jam's work.
Last
don't
time I saw
believe you
Eddie
are.
Vedder in anything was when he made like a brief cameo appearance in the Dewey Cox story, like that movie with John C. Reilly,
I don't remember.
where it was basically like just this big parody of like Walk the Line and every like biographical musician movie you've ever seen. And then like
That's-
Eddie Vedder is like at the very end of it, like they're doing some award show bit.
That's
So
great.
I mean, he doesn't look bad, but I'm
He's-
pretty sure he's getting up there.
He's old, man. Yeah, I watched the documentary about them like before we went and saw them, and it was really interesting to see them back in their heyday. Well, they're still doing fine, but like back when they became fucking massive, and like Chris
Yeah.
Cornell was best buds with them and all that.
like there was this whole thing of like there was this big movement of musicians that came out of Seattle, and like it started with them.
Yeah.
And
Also, I realized from that documentary, none of their songs are happy. Like, "Alive" is about his dead father, which is their
yeah, like even like some of their faster stuff, like stuff that you could like get down with.
yeah.
It's about some bad shit.
What
Like
was the big one? I think it's called Jeremy, if I believe correctly, which is about like
Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah, it's about a kid who killed
that's
himself,
about
I
a
believe.
kid who kills himself in the middle of his classroom.
yeah, they wrote a song about that.
Yeah.
I know like
cheery.
one of
Yeah, no, they don't write happy songs.
I know like one of my personal favorites that they did.
Really quick, not only is Alive about his dead father, it's also about somebody sexually molesting him.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know what the song is about, but one of my personal favorites is a song called Rearview Mirror.
Yes.
And yeah, and it like I just remember the biggest thing about the lyrics saying like somebody pissed on my plate and swallowed it down. Like I was like, oh god. But I really get down with this song, but
Do the Evolution is about how humans as a species are like really shitty,
Yes.
and how no matter how much we evolve, we keep our base instincts of being terrible fucking things.
Yes.
not wrong.
It was an interesting
Yeah.
concert, and it was funny that about halfway, like, he started having this discussion where he was like, "Tomorrow's the last day to vote in Austin." And I was like, "Okay, that's political." And he was like, "And you guys are gonna do pro-choice, right?" And I was like, okay." It's all of a sudden very political.
oh
He
god.
was talking about right to choose, and I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, they're extremely.
And I asked my brother
I'm okay
about
with
it, and
that,
he was
though,
like, dude,
'cause-
he is very political. Like, he is big on that. Also, funny fact about Pearl Jam is that they hate Ticketmaster so much because of the way they gouge prices, they won't play anywhere that does Ticketmaster. Meaning
Wow.
they
I'm
haven't
a-
played in Atlanta in like 10 years.
Yeah. Do the Evolution is like I can kill because in God I trust. Like,
Yeah.
because in God I trust. They are very anti-religious and they're very Yeah, it's the whole song is about like we evolve as a species, like technologically, but like our base instincts will keep on.
It's a very strange band.
Yeah,
Interesting guys,
yeah. Like we will always be animals
though. Yeah.
I have to look
and
this
go to
up.
war and Do the Evolution is a fantastic song, and the music video is done by I think shit who did this who did Spawn? I'm sorry.
The guy who did Spawn?
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane, thank you. Yeah, it's actually animated by him.
Okay, while Charlie's looking down, I'm going to keep
Kinda
reading
cool.
Toradora.
So what else did you do today, this week,
I
sometime?
was going to read about how Taiga was going to give cookies to Kitamura. It was going to be adorable. Anyway, as far as... Am I out of games? Okay, before I get to games, I got one more thing that's cool. I bought a new keyboard, which you can probably hear because it's fucking loud as shit, and I bought the
Yeah,
silent.
I totally
I bought
can,
the
'cause
silent
you're-
version. This
So-
is the MX Brown keys that are silent.
So your mouse and your keyboard now click loud as shit.
Did you
yes.
buy a Razer Black Widow?
I did. Because it was the best one I could find.
I'm wearing a Razer headset with a really nice mic, and that's why you can hear
Yes,
me.
everything I have is super loud
The
now.
Black Widow.
No, I
Apart
have
from Razer's very shitty way of naming things and trying to be cool, they do make good products.
It's corporate cool.
I
Yes.
have the Black Shark, and it looks like a pair of Apache headset gear for Army men, and it's really fucking cool. And it's the Battlefield 4 edition, and I'm not even a huge fan of Battlefield 4.
I just want to do this for like hours. Like, this is just Sounds so.
Real quick, I guess. Going back to Pearl Jam real fast. Rearview Mirror, I guess, is just more about like living in an abusive home and like bullshit, like more abuse that he probably went through. Yeah. So.
Lovely time, huh?
Not especially.
Yeah. So funny thing about the keyboard is that, and I realized this about the second day I had it, which I've had it for about a week now. This is the first time I have ever gamed on a mechanical keyboard in my entire life. Think about
Like
that.
what?
I have never
Like
once
what
played
would be
games
the
on a
real-
mechanical keyboard before this. When I had
Do
my
you
original
feel it is-
computer, I had a chiclet, and then I had laptops, and then I had another chiclet for my current desktop. It feels weird.
So, do you think it is an improvement?
I think so, but I think that's just because the Razer has really good actuation points, meaning you really, like, there's no resistance to the keys, really, which is really nice. And the point at which it registers the hit is super high up compared to most keyboards. So, like, on an average, like, computer keyboard, like, for typing, the actuation point, the point where it registers the hit, is about halfway down. For a Razer, it's, like, a third or less. So, it's very interesting, because I find myself, at first, I kept, like, jumping, because I just would lay my hand on the spacebar, and if you just gently ever tap it, you'll start jumping. So, it's really, really, really sensitive. Which is interesting. But, the biggest thing for me is that compared to my old chiclet, I used to have a lot of ghosting problems, which is when you hit enough keys, the whole keyboard just doesn't recognize them anymore. So if you try to, like, hold down Shift and X and D and then press spacebar, it just won't do anything. So Razer has up to 10 keys before it'll stop registering them all. So I haven't had that problem where I basically just hit a whole bunch of keys and my character just doesn't do anything. Which is nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice keyboard. Mechanical keyboards are weird, though, and they're very loud. Like, again, this is the silent one. Supposedly, the sound just comes from the actual keys moving, as opposed to, like, the Cherry MX Red keys, which actually are supposed to make sound. Because I have a friend of mine who lives by that shit. He's like, I want to hear the clicks. I don't know. So as far as games, first thing is that I beat Shadow of Mordor. The Lord of the Rings game. It's not a Lord of the Rings game.
I plan on getting that at some point, so don't spoil anything.
Yes, the very end, Andy Serkis comes out, and he reveals he's Darth Vader. Whole time.
Damn.
Yeah, you know. It's always Darth Vader in these
Andy
games.
Serkis isn't playing anyone in the scene.
But it's a cool game. Like, the most interesting part I've seen about it is that, like, all these articles going around about how, like, it came out and there were all these great reviews about it, people saying how much they loved it, and then all of a sudden I just saw this huge wave of, like, this game is super fucking violent. Like, The Verge wrote an article about just how extremely hyper-violent this game is.
Wait, what is this?
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, okay.
Like, just the way you kill the orcs is just goddamn fucking
And
hard.
they don't die, apparently. Like,
No.
even decapitating them.
But yeah, it's just like constant decapitations, or like just ramming a sword all the way through somebody, or just, you know, like cutting arms off and shit like that. It's just insane. Or between that and like branding, which is basically just putting your hand on them and you're like burning your handprint into their face.
And making them your slave.
Yeah. It's a cool game though. Is my mic working?
I hear it's the
Yeah,
best
it's-
combination of Assassin's Creed meets Batman meets Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It
Like
basically is.
it is kind of that thing of if you don't give a shit about the Arkham games or Assassin's Creed, this probably isn't going to change your mind at all about those unless you're just really into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I've been
And even
told
then, it
that
only
it's
has, like, a
actually better
passing
to
remark.
not care about Lord of the Rings before you buy this than to actually care. That's what I've been told anyway.
I mean, I don't give a shit about Lord of the Rings, and I found it interesting. But the only problem is that the weakest part of the game is the story, and the story is... It's like, it's not even bad, it's just, I forgot everything.
Well,
It's
it's like
completely unremarkable.
the biggest thing I hear about the story is like the main character, you kind of don't give a shit about him early on because his story is just so like fucking tropey and like it's
I
predictable.
mean, his family dies. He wants to kill the people who killed his family.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course
So
he
he's
does.
Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
And you know what his connection with the Wraith is? The Wraith's family died. He wants revenge on them.
But I hear like
the same person essentially.
So he's like if Ezio got possessed by Ezio.
Yes, it's like the
But
same
the thing I
character,
hear
but what's
is
an
that
elf?
the thing I hear is that like the Elven Wraith, like his story is a lot more interesting.
Yeah, way more. Mostly, I think part of it's just because they never tell anything about Talion as a character. I don't know what he used to do beyond that he's a captain in the military, but they don't explain anything about his wife. They don't explain where he came from, what he likes or what he dislikes. And the only reason that Celebrimbor, who's the Wraith, is interesting is just because of his connection to the main characters in The Lord of the Rings. Like, he has a personal connection with Sauron, which I won't explain. Apparently, he's like a known figure in the universe, so if you knew the name and you know Lord of the Rings, you already know what his connection is, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. Cause
You know what I can't help but think of, given some of the recent games I've played? Why haven't we seen Lord of the Rings Dynasty Warriors?
It's really surprising, isn't it?
Tell me that doesn't make sense.
I mean, that's kind of what this is if they just added more orcs. Of course, you know, they'd remove all the fun of the combat.
Well, yeah, and then you don't have the fucking, I can't remember what it's called. Damn it.
Pyro Warriors?
No, like Muso moves or whatever they're called. Like,
Yeah, they're called Muso moves.
yeah, like you need to have some of those. Like,
God. I mean, you already have, like, execution moves, you have Wraith Flashes, you have Wraith Burns, like, you have all the stuff.
I still remember those beat 'em ups they did back in like the PS2 era, which were really good.
The movie-based
Like-
games.
Like Twin Towers and Return of the King specifically, because when they did a Fellowship of the Ring game, it was nowhere near good at all. And yeah, they made I remember it being like, I think it was like an Xbox exclusive. They did a game for Fellowship of the Ring, and it was super shit. Like, it was like this action platformer that just did not work. Like, it was buggy, had god-awful controls. It
That
was
sounds
just...
to me like The Hobbit. That's why I'm confused.
It might have been like that, but
Yeah,
no.
'cause I heard The
So
Hobbit was, like, really bad.
Yeah, you can look it up. There was a Fellowship of the Ring game, and it was just super fucking shit. And that's when they decided, well, for Twin Towers, we're going to make a licensed game. Let's try to do something better, and it turned out being like the next best thing that was just really awesome. So it was like they did the Return of the King game, and it's like, just do the same thing as Twin Towers.
Yeah.
People eat it up.
And I guess the thing is with Shadow of Mordor is it's a really good game, but the problem is, say, unlike Batman, there's nothing to break up the combat. Literally, the only thing you do is stealth or combat. And the stealth is kind of bad.
Yeah, like that's the other thing I heard about the game. Is like the pacing is just too much. Like it's
so there's no. It's pretty much it hinges its entire crux on the combat and the Nemesis system, which they've been touting a whole bunch. Which is, you can. And the whole thing about, like, they touted this whole idea of, like, you can brand orcs and make them work for each other. That is literally 2 missions before the end of the game. Just bear that in mind. There's 20 missions in the whole game. It's like mission 17 or 18 that lets you do that.
Jeez.
It's an endgame thing. So basically for most of it, it's like you're just killing... Like, the biggest thing that made it interesting is just the writing. Like, the idea that when you kill an orc and you come back, or he comes back... You know, they have constant different ways they try to, you know, make mention of that. Like, I remember I got killed by one guy and I came back and he was like, is this some kind of joke or something? And, you know, if I kill an orc or come back, he'd be like, Urks, don't die that easy. Like, you know, for the most part, it's pretty unique writing, but towards the end, I started to see the same lines over and over from the same guy.
Yeah, it gets to that point where you start to see, you know, what's going on behind the curtain, and like the mechanical aspects of the game as it is designed.
But for the beginning, it's fucking incredible to, like, kill an Urk and then have them come back and they have a unique piece of dialogue. Even the first time you see them, like, at some point in the game, they'll start to make mention of how they know who you are, or there's 2 maps in the game, and depending on which map you're in, they'll call you different things. There goes Chris. Great.
Sweet.
I guess I should just continue.
Keep going.
But, like, if you go... If the main area of Mordor that you start out in, they call you the Ranger. I don't know why. And if you go to the... I have no idea what the other part is called. It's a different part of Mordor. It's a shoreline. And they call you Gravewalker, because by this point they already know that you won't die and stay dead. So they give you a new name. Which is interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's
a cool game. It's just that it needed more. It needed a better story. It needed more... It needed, like, puzzles or something like Batman had. Like, something to break up the combat. Because when I finished it, I posted on Twitter that I was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this. And I booted it up and I played for 15 minutes and I was like, no, I'm just doing the combat. The combat's fantastic, but literally there's nothing to break up combat, not even cutscenes anymore. No matter how bad they were, there was something else. So now it's just do the side mission that involves combat, do the other side mission that involves combat. And it's like, it just gets tiring after a while. So I eventually uninstalled it. I was just like, it's a cool game, but there's not much to do afterwards.
Did you finish it, or?
Oh, yeah. I finished the main story. I just was doing the side missions, because you can forge 3 legendary weapons by doing all the side missions. But
it just wasn't holding your attention enough,
Yeah, it was just like, without the context of working towards something, I was like, the combat's great, but I could just be playing Batman or something. And I think the bigger problem is that I wanted more Uruks in any given battle, because it's usually like 4 dudes. And I'm like, give me like 30 guys, like make the combat hard, and they only do that in the story missions. So
again, needs to be Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, just make it Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Alright, knocking things off the list. Just to mention briefly, I did beat all the Dead Rising 3 DLC.
Ooh.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I finished it and I was like, well, that's done. I don't really plan to talk about that anymore. Like, it was just like unremarkable. It's like, yeah, I finished it. There's a bit more story revealed, but I didn't really care about the backstory of the biker guy that I killed in the beginning. Wow. What were the others? There was the biker guy. There's the chick who works for the Rebellion called Angel. I already forgot what the first guy was.
Rebellion what?
Huh? Oh, is he doing something else? And then the last one was some guy named Agent Park from the Zombie Control Center, and I didn't really care about him. Probably the most interesting that I did is that was it last night? Last night I beat Never-Ending Nightmares, which was that solo game that got kickstarted.
Oh, that game's fantastic, isn't it? I hope so.
It's cool.
I haven't played it, but I want to really badly.
So don't say anything bad about it.
Don't say it.
As soon as I get
if you make fun of it, Asher, Garrett will kill you.
I like how you use my screen name and his real name. Like, as far as people are concerned, Asher's probably my real name, because it sounds like a real name.
Whatever. I'm tired, okay?
So, Never-Ending Nightmares, like, I do plan to write about it as soon as I get the Strider article up, because I have to edit it. I have to confirm the edits with a friend of mine one more time. So once that goes up, hopefully tonight or tomorrow or something like that, I'm going to work on Never-Ending Nightmares, because the main thing I want to talk about is how I think it's a really cool game. I love the art style, I think the story's interesting, the atmosphere.
There's a button there.
What?
There's a button there.
Oh, yeah.
BT.
I thought you meant like a BOTTON button. I was like, okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, alright. But the biggest problem with it is that is the parts of it that make it a video game. Like, I think it would have been better if it was more Dear Esther, just walk along and enjoy the atmosphere sort of thing. Because the thing is, they put all these enemies in there, and you encounter one enemy that's like a giant baby. If it sees you, you're dead. And I was like, alright, fucking whatever. But then I kept encountering these, like, guys with their eyes sewn shut, and they run to you if they're stopped, but if they're walking, you can walk because they just listen for you. And the whole time I kept dying over and over and waking up in the same bed.
Right?
Yeah. And I kept, like, waking up in the bed, and I was like, this is just fucking pissing me off. Like, I'm making no progress, and it's like, I'm here for the atmosphere. I don't care about dying or any game part, because they have death scenes that involve if you get into the pure darkness, you'll just die, and you'll generally encounter a unique death point. Like I told a few weeks ago about the time where he rips his vein out. There's one where he rips the entire bone out of his arm, which is also disgusting.
Yeah, I see that. Like,
yeah. But it's like, the parts of it that suck are the parts where I'm just sitting there walking with enemies. So it's like, just let me walk around and look at shit. Like, I don't care about the whole death aspect of the game. And apparently I learned when I finished it is that there are 3 different endings, and I have absolutely no idea how you encounter any of them. For all I know, it's random. But the one I got was... the not good ending, but the not bad ending. I'm not going to spoil any of them, but like one of them is arguably the best, and one of them is most definitely the worst. So I got somewhere in the middle of the 3. Also, the game is about... if I want to say correctly, it's probably less than 2 hours long when I beat it. Short game.
Yay.
But I have no complaints about that.
But it's a really good ending game, right?
We've already talked about length in games a couple
Yeah.
times in the past.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, I didn't get the good ending. I just got the.
The meh.
I
the
like.
okay.
If I could spoil it, I could explain why, but I'm not going to.
No.
It's just like if you see that ending, you'd be like, I get it. It's kind of a good ending in a really fucked up sense, considering the context. Just put it that way. Also, the game's creepy as hell.
The game's based off of the developer's like real life
Yeah. He has
phobias
serious
and
depression and
neurosis.
phobias. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from like the few jump scares, the atmosphere is really good, and he does use a good use of blood. Like, you know, you see like blood on the walls and stuff, but a really good use is that when you're in the kitchen of your house, there's somebody who like ground up some beef, and like the beef is red because it is blood covered, and it makes sense. So I thought they did some interesting uses of that. And now Brandon's on Twitter doing shit. Excuse me.
I'm tired.
Ah!
I know.
Okay. I guess fewer things that I picked up a few more games. Like I bought Assassin's Creed Freedom, Cry, and Liberation on a sale last week. I played a little bit of Freedom Cry.
What you think of it?
It's funny that I've already watched the Errant Signal video on it, and now that I have, I can't help but notice his major point, which is that they basically turned slavery into a numbers game.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's really hard not to notice that when you just go and it's like, you freed 3 more slaves, you get like, now you're up to like 107. I was like, this is really downplaying the aspect of slavery to just, it's just a number that I'm gathering for nothing.
Well,
Like,
no. You free enough slaves to advance the plot.
Oh. Well, that explains why they're just more and more slaves forever. Like,
And
they
get
just pop up out of
rewards.
nowhere on the map. It's, like, I can't help but not notice that, and I can't, but it's not really that detrimental, because I still think Adewale is an interesting character, and the cutscenes are good, but I just can't help but notice that when I'm freeing slaves, like, I am just playing this numbers game with slavery.
Yeah, and you sneak in so that you don't lose more slaves that could join your side.
It's a weird game. So I haven't played Liberation yet, so I can't talk about that. I did pick up Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition because I really want an excuse to play Sleeping Dogs again, and I love that
Can't you
game.
just
Hell
let
yeah.
sleeping dogs lie?
This is why I shouldn't have brought it up, because I knew Brandon was going to
Yeah, why don't you watch Dogs?
I already did. It was boring.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs are more fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But,
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Ubisoft game.
But the interesting thing about the Definitive Edition, or the thing that I found the funniest, is that when you plug in an Xbox controller, it gives you Xbox One controller prompts. Like, it doesn't say press the start button, it says press the menu button.
Huh.
Which is really weird, because I don't think that many people who own an Xbox One controller who play PC games. I would guess, like, less than 10%. I don't know, it was weird. Maybe it's just an Xbox One port, for all I know.
Yeah, I mean, because that was one of the reasons behind the Definitive Edition was now they can put this on PS4 and Xbox,
Yeah.
so...
And it does look slightly better on PC, even though the big visual enhancement was from the console versions. And I did notice a few new mission types that they added, and it has all the DLC packed in, which is cool. And I got it for $15. It was half off for me. So I can't really complain about that. Oh, God. And I'm just, like, running through shit because there's not much to talk about with the stuff I did. I think I'm going to skip talking about Dusk because I'm about finished with that. I don't know. And last thing I did is I picked up a bit of anime again, where I watched an anime with Werewolf, who I was introduced to through Brandon.
Yeah, one of my friends.
Yeah, I'm stealing all Brandon's friends, apparently. Because I decided to watch an anime of Rita's choosing, and it was called I Can Be the Twin Tails. And it is, no joke, the crux of the series is that there is a main character who loves twin tails, as in the hairstyle where you put your hair, you know, in 2 different tails. I guess we call it pigtails here, but they're not that short. And aliens, who are like alligators and lizards and shit, like reptile aliens, are apparently taking away the twin tails from girls, and they make them not like twin tail styles. The entire crux
Oh no.
is that there's just like a beam that they shoot over women, and then their hair just goes straight down. They're like, oh, twin tails are disgusting, and the guy's like, I can't stand for this. I must save the world from the twin tails takers. So
That's silly.
he transforms into a woman, apparently, who has twin tails. And he somehow gets 2 feet shorter, and we're trying to figure out how that one worked out. So it's like Power Rangers in that they're like multicolored heroes that are literally like yellow, blue, and red, and they symbolize like courage, hope, and whatever. And they're fighting like reptile alien dudes. And the first dude that they fought was a lolicon, because fucking whatever. And he was like, "I want you to hug this plushie, it'll be adorable." And he's like, "No," and then he kills him. And he's like, "In my last moments, will you do something cute for me?" And he's like, "No." It's a very weird series. Anime is weird. I watch a lot of anime, and anime is pretty weird.
Yes, it is.
Pretty much.
It's kind of fucked up. I touched a whole bunch of games that I don't even want to bother with, because, I don't know.
I think we've done enough.
Get me my Titan. Go, go, go.
Most of the shit that I talk about isn't that interesting to you guys, because I have very different interests.
I just want to point out that I wrote my first part of a 2-part impressions piece on Persona 4 Ultimax. And it's already out on my blog by now, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. Part 2 we posted up next week.
I'll link it.
I realized that I was writing it was waiting way too long, so I had to in order to say everything I wanted to say about the game. This first part is about story and presentation. The next part is going to be about mechanics and gameplay and shit.
I like how a fighting game has enough story that you can send an entire article.
It's
just the story alone.
Persona, dude. It's fucking Persona.
It's Persona.
Persona.
It's also tsundere.
Yeah, you're welcome, assholes.
Thank you, Garrett, for that input.
Not you guys. I'm playing.
I just said it's tsundere. Garrett's like, yeah! And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then he said something completely different. I was like, alright.
No, I'm playing Titanfall, and these guys were losing terribly until I walked in, and then I just fucking wrecked house for them. So they're welcome.
Garrett, we're trying to have
Nice.
a conversation about tsunderes here and how Brandon can't pronounce anything for shit.
It's Japanese. Who cares?
I care. Oh god, that reminded me. A friend of mine, you guys are probably slightly familiar with Filthy Frank. Have you heard the name?
No.
He's the guy who did the
No.
original Harlem Shake video. Put it that way. So, you can blame him on that, and he hates it. He hates that video so much. Point being, he's my old dorm mate's best friend, and he recently posted a video about weeaboos, and he was like, "You should watch this, because I think you're gonna like it." And it was the most hilarious, stupid shit ever. And it actually had a cameo by a person I know from Switzerland, who is like so weeaboo and has so much shit that he has transcended that level. Like, I can't even begin to explain the kind of shit that this guy Melonpan has. It's like an entire room full of body pillows. He has like hundreds of DVDs.
I think Garrett just gave up and started playing League.
No, he's playing
No,
Titanfall.
no, I'm playing
Same difference.
Titanfall. I had 22 kills, 1 death. Fuck them.
Point being, that was a pretty fun night when I was talking weeaboo stuff with my old dorm mate. Because that's how he used to think I was until he actually got to know me. And now he think he was a bro. So it worked out pretty well.
Bro.
If you just look at him, you would immediately think that, but he's a super nice guy.
So, this is 2.5 hours.
I mean, I can go for
Yeah,
an half hour.
well,
I could just start reading
let's-
Toradora
Oh, God.
aloud. Let's see, where am I? A total airhead. Excuse us, pardon us coming through. I'm gonna possibly leave someone like this for themselves.
Oh god. Just
She's giving the cookies. She's angry. I don't know.
Be sure to tune in next time for the Texture Pop.
yes.
I love just
I
dragging
am
this out to
Brandon-
piss Brandon off.
I am Brandon Carey. As always, my co-hosts, Victoria,
I'm Garrett.
I see how it is.
and that's Samuel Callahan. Thank you, special guest Nick, for coming to be on the show, and I do apologize for what
Keeping
you
here.
just listened to.
I don't mind. I was having a blast.
Yeah, you can tell. Every time I come up, there's like nothing to say about what I do because it's never interesting. I had to live a very interesting life. Chris, on the other hand, always has
Next
something.
time it might be coherent, it might not. Who knows?
Next time, we should just start a new tradition of playing games while we do it. So we'll just start playing 4-player games while we do the podcast.
It's like Gauntlet.
Yep. Just start doing it during the cast. We'll record
Yes.
an LP and the podcast at the same time. Think of how great that'll be.
That would be amazingly terrible.
The first podcast LP crossover.
Pretty much.
Alright. Well, we'll see you next time, guys. Oh,
See ya.
I forgot to mention it earlier. Brandon Adonis Perkins. We're gonna have you on the show at some point. I totally forgot to mention that. Whoops.
You
So-
just made him
Whoops.
shit his pants. You just
He's just waiting, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Yeah, finally."
like, holy crap.
Yes, because you know we're such celebrities in high demand.
We have an single fan.
I even tried to convince my best friend to watch the show, and he says, "Fuck it, it's too long." And I was like, "Thanks, man."
Great.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna
Sam-
be honest. It kind of is, man. We like there's.
We're
League
doing
of
so
Legends.
well at making it shorter, and then this happened.
Yep.
And then Sam came back.
Every fucking thing went off the rails.
I
this
was the
week.
shortest out of any of us because you guys didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, but the host's job is to guide the conversation when that happens.
I could have either guided the conversation and have a whole volume of Toradora to read, but I'm almost done with this volume now. I'm like 20 pages from the end. Think of how much I got done. I'm
That's
multitasking
right.
here. You guys get
Sam.
to talk, I get to read.
Sam, if you had guided the conversation like you're supposed to, you could have had an extra hour of just none of us talking to
Yeah,
yourself.
but it's more fun. It's like you guys are like white noise, where I can just, in the background, just shit's going on, I get to read Toradora.
Why's that be white noise, you fucking racist?
What do you want me to call you? You
Call
are
black
white.
noise.
We're all white. I don't know if Nick's white. He's probably white.
Call it native African noise. That way, it's like perfect.
I'm about as white as you can get.
I don't know. Brandon's pretty white.
Call it multicultural and
Unless you're gonna be racist to your own culture, in which case
call it
it's totally
diverse
fine.
multicultural noise.
I'm pretty damn white. I got all the European in
Shut
me,
up. I wanna ask
Norwegian,
you-
German, French. Oh.
I'm just gonna keep reading Toradora.
We have an Indian guy here, that's enough.
Oh, I
Yep.
forgot Chris is not white. I'm so sorry,
Nope.
Chris, to have offended you.
It's okay, Chris sounds white and Chris is a white name.
Chris,
I'm
let me
half
do the
white.
dance. Let me do the dance of my people. It's Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" dance.
Oh god.
It'll help you.
Okay, honestly, did we stop?
No, I'm about to.
Jesus
Bye, everybody.
Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my fucking god!
asshole.
Are we still recording?